Greetings and welcome everybody to War Commander Unshackled. It's, well, time to get ready for some fun and the event. So on my panel tonight, we have Daba Phoenix, Zach. Of course, he doesn't have a mic, but he will type in the side chat and we'll reiterate what he has to say. So, 1 second. I gotta answer this PM. But that being said, we can go ahead and kick off on our update notes on releasing. So today we had our downtime and fixes and updates. So these will apply today. Get ready for tomorrow because you have the final chapter in the Onyx campaign begins when the full version of Skipjack, Galen, and Santiago, as well as a ton of other heroes in this event store. So we will discuss the events here in a little bit. Content changes. The challenge bases have been updated for the 90 Zealot base. Damage protection cooldown for damage protection has been increased from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So that means when you voluntarily pop your bubble, you can't be put back into one for 10 minutes. However, you can be hit as many times as possible and lose infamy. The infamy platoon exchange has been reduced by 66%. Platoon infamy will be disabled during the monthly events. I like that. So the Santiago, like the single-use version units, the full version of Santiago has a range of 500, but they will buff it to 550 in the near future. So the bug fixes that we've had. Oops, didn't mean to show Daba's.
I know I'm beautiful, but you don't have to show me all the time.
I know. But that being said, sorry. Daba's flying little phoenix. We'll get that off of there.
I wish it would actually fly on YouTube, but it's just like stuck.
Yeah, the animation doesn't transfer over, unfortunately. So, the following bug fixes have been applied. The issue with the Envoy Diamond Tech that couldn't be upgraded past, I do believe, level 2 has been fixed. The issue occurring over the weekend where crashes would sometimes occur during battle and requiring a restart of the game have been fixed.
David.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, darling. It's still showing Daba and you're not screen sharing it either.
There we go.
Does one of you guys have me clicked?
I got it.
Thank you.
Hopefully I got it. Yep, there it is. Yay.
Catch up.
Also, you're not showing the notes. You're showing your War Commander Unshackled.
Son
logo
of
thing.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on.
Trying. Squeezing it.
There we go.
There we go. Oh yeah.
Little bugs and whatnot. So anyway, the last one is an issue has been fixed where the flash version upgrade while loading times were dramatically increased. I think we all experienced that. It was not KixEye's fault. It was Adobe's fault for putting out an update that they didn't notify people about in the time that was required. Now, according to Adobe on that one, the next release will be in about a month. So look out for that one. And hopefully they'll fix a lot more of some of the other issues. So, and on the panel, obviously, we also have the luxurious Queen of War Commander, Skipjack.
How you doing?
How you doing, boo?
So I'm pretty sure we may have some more people come on later on, and we'll introduce them as well. So with that being said, Zach.
Back with Chad if you want to come on.
So with that, Zach, get ready to post your comments as far as the bug fixes and the updates in the side chat. We're going to start off with Daba Phoenix. What do you think about these updates and bug fixes?
I'm loving the cooldown timer because I have a let's call him a War Commander associate, and this player attempted to self-bubble, and I caught the player twice. And because they popped their bubble, and I caught him twice because of the 10-minute timer. I was able to get credit for bubbling him twice, and even though he didn't go into a bubble because of that 10-minute timer, so I'm loving it. And it's fun going around the sectors and seeing what I'm calling failed 69s, where people pop and they try to immediately bubble themselves, but they take infamy, and then you just roll up and you do the final hit. Where we see the Envoy tech not being upgraded. Hopefully that is fixed, because that was a huge thing over the weekend. And even past week or so, you had to have the Sphinx in order to do the Envoy or something like that. And then it's good that they got the flash thingy all situated. And let's see, platoon infamy exchange. I'm in the minority, but I don't like that they reduced it, because there should be a huge penalty for leaving your platoons out of the map, because this is a strategy game. So you have to be strategic when to deploy the platoons and all that. However, to quote Star Trek, the needs of the few outweigh, or the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. So it seems like the community likes the 66% reduction overall. So I'm glad that they did it. And yeah, that's all I can see there. So that's all I can comment on.
Well, you had the other stuff that I read off, and with the updates that came out. So, I mean, the 90 challenge bases and stuff. I mean, that's pretty much it on the updates.
Yeah, 90 base. I gotta see what the 90 base looks like.
Well, maybe we can get Zach to do one with SF.
Zach's good at that.
So Zach's little shout out was he loved the fix for the flash. Normally took him 5 minutes to load the world map, so that's good. As far as for me, I haven't checked out the 90 base because I usually don't do them. I'm loving the increase on the 10 minutes for the cooldown. I honestly wish they would. My honest opinion would be to set the timer for jumps to be 1 hour instead of instantaneous. Jump into a sector, you're stuck there for at least an hour. So the infamy changing, yeah, I like that for the platoons. I lost 300 in one night because I forgot to pull my platoons in. So as far as the bug fixes, the Envoy tech I still haven't gotten yet because I've been lazy. I know. I'll get them hopefully tonight, so start the upgrading on those.
You better hurry up and get them. They are very, very well worth it having. And yes, I'm glad they got the Envoy Diamond tech. There was a workaround if you had the Sphinx tech. There was a workaround. But then when I realized it was such a game-wide issue, the people that had the Sphinx tech, excuse me, we tested it extensively with my group. The people that had the Sphinx tech, we were able to prove that you could upgrade your Sphinx tech in basically 1 versus 1. So if your Sphinx tech was at level 2, you could get your Envoy to level 2, but you couldn't go further until you upgraded your Sphinx tech. So spent a little bit of gold, spent a little bit of money, ran some videos, and got my Sphinx maxed. And of course then I didn't have any problem getting my Envoy. But so the people I gave the workaround to, they were grateful. But again, that doesn't help the players who didn't have the Sphinx tech. So I'm glad for those of you out there that are listening or will watch this show later, for those of you who sent me your videos of what you had and what you didn't have, and then how you helped me when I reached out to everybody, and some of us got in Google Hangouts with the videos, it really did help. Whatever it was that I reported to the team last week, it must have been enough information so they can make the fix they needed to make. And I'm glad they did it. I'm sorry they had to wait until this time to do it, but obviously it wasn't a quick fix. And they had to do it during a downtime, or I promise you, I'm sure that they would have patched it or hot patched it if they could. So again, I know there's a few people that were frustrated that had to wait till it was maintenance time before it could be fixed, but some of these things are just too difficult to just kind of like, flip a switch on. And this just happened to be one of them. And the Flash version upgrade, that was like an industry-wide announcement. Unless you're involved in the industry, like some of us are, that what we do for a living, you wouldn't know. I would like to apologize to everybody in the forums. It seems like I was blowing you off when I was answering you. I promise you I wasn't blowing you off. I had my own workaround. My husband had his own workaround because we know our own rigs. So we did the workaround and we reverted back to the old version of Flash. Adobe, even though Adobe Flash itself may not be supported, it's not dead. It's not dying. When they don't support it anymore, it's still going to be out there. I know people who are playing their game on Windows 7 and Windows XP. So just because Windows doesn't support those versions of Windows anymore, that doesn't mean that they're dead. It's not like your computer turns off and you can't use your computer anymore. So Flash is still going to be there. So the point is that Adobe is still an industry leader. And when an industry leader makes a huge change like that and then doesn't tell anybody, they didn't tell Windows, they didn't tell Chrome, they didn't tell any of the browsers, they didn't tell anyone. So it caused a snowball effect because then all of a sudden, as those other industry leaders like the browsers and the game companies and Windows found out, they made their own updates. So, and then from there, other people have to make changes. So we weren't trying to blame your computers. It really was, if you want me to send you the link, please PM me and I'll send it to you. It really was. There's an apology out there from Adobe for what they did. It really was an industry-wide, huge boo-boo by Adobe for doing what they did when they did and leaving everybody hanging, especially the timing of it, because it, it's not like they did it on a Monday, where everybody had a week to fix it. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you who felt like I was blowing you off in forums, I wasn't. I was just trying to help you with the workaround that I had that I knew that worked in the meantime until Kickside could do what they needed to do game-wide. So you can't fix it for hundreds of thousands of players all at one time. It just doesn't work that way. That's what Kickside has to do. I just had a small workaround that worked for, I don't know, maybe 100 or so people. It worked for them. So again, for any of you who thought that I was blowing you off, I wasn't. It really wasn't. It was not my intention. So, oh, hey, Ashley, welcome.
Yep, welcome, Ashley. I hope you have a mic.
It's actually Cole. It's Norm.
Norm!
It's just the email is underneath my wife's name.
Oh, well.
Oh, are you the one who asked me about how to make the switch?
Yes, I did. And I did switch it. I don't know why it's showing up again.
Sometimes it takes 24 hours for Google to pay attention. So you're good.
It's all right.
Okay. I noticed when I'm
say-
typing into the chat on the side, it's showing up as my name.
I'm not sure something different, so that's all right.
I was going to say the voice sounds a little deep to be an Ashley.
So, Norm, what do you think about these updates?
They've been pretty good for me. I would like to ask you guys a question about the PvP tunes. Mine, I've been using them, and when they've been coming back to my base, I've been finding them in my storage. Have any of you guys had this going on?
No.
And it doesn't let you go back into the PvP. It makes you put them into the storage, which costs more coin or a lot longer time to repair.
Wow, that's really weird.
Yeah.
I've seen a few players complain about that, and I don't really.
I would
It's
go
nothing.
ahead.
I can't find a way to repeat it to if
No,
you
I
do
can't
this,
either.
then it'll happen.
I've tried myself getting it to repeat and recording it for them, and it just doesn't. It's just it wants to do it when it wants to do it, I guess.
Oh, that's weird.
Now, my question is, does it do it while you're online or offline?
When I'm online. The last time it happened, I got my tune sniped, and it went back, and I went to go repair it, and it was in the storage. And you have to put it into the storage, repair it, and then you can put it back in your PvP.
That's interesting. So if anybody is experiencing that, if you could make a video of it from start to finish, send it into Kickside so that way they can see it. So with that being said, any more from you, Skip, as a player, not as a mod?
As a player, as far as the tune changes go, I'll agree with Kyle on this one. But then again, I'm not as much of a fighter as some people are. I'm busy doing other things. Somebody has some background noise.
I know. Brian, mute your YouTube, please.
There we go. The one thing that I'm still going to continue to push as a player is I get that our damage protection is just for our base. And I put this in the Discord and on a few other pages. And there were several people that agree with me. I realize that damage protection on your base is just supposed to be for your base. And if you choose to continue to fight and pop your bubble voluntarily, then your tunes are free game. But let's just admit it. I'm not going to call it a grind because it's not. And Kickside themselves acknowledge it in their other games. They call it chores. There are chores that we have to get done. Speaking of which, I have to get my shadow ops done. There's chores that we have to do. We have to do ops. We have to do, like on Sundays, we're doing the boss bases. I've got to collect resources. I've got to go get Thor. I'm doing other bases that are on the map. If I'm done fighting, and I'm not really a fighter, but if I'm done fighting for the day, I want to be able to go out on the map and do my chores related to game. And no, I'm not kidding. I mean, before the percentages were changed, I shouldn't have to worry about who was outside when I'm doing an Omega base, so that my heavies don't get tagged, so that they get a gazillion amount of infamy because I'm already under bubble protection. I shouldn't have to leave my battle when I'm in an Omega base to look and see if there's somebody outside. And it got to the point where when it was a higher percentage, as my clan is really small, we're only like 6 or 7 people, we were watching each other's backs while we were doing our ops and doing the boss bases, because that's exactly what was happening in our sector. And I'm all for toon fighting, but that's not toon fighting, because guess what? When that chest comes up, sometimes there's a delay. And as soon as I win that base, that chest is coming up, but my toon is available to be hit. I can't even defend my toon if I want to. So, and in some cases, I got DC'd when somebody hit my toon. So, you know, I'm SOL because the chest comes up, the person immediately grabs my toon, and then boom, I get DC'd. So my thing is that if I stay under my bubble protection, I know that makes me sound like a farmer. I don't care. As a player, I should be, if I choose to stop fighting and I'm under bubble protection, I should be able to have some tunes on the map and be able to work on my bases and not have to constantly leave to look to see if someone's out there behind me. And Daba, I know that you would probably think that that would be fun. And yes, if I was in an enemy or a war sector or whatever, I get it. That's part of the game. If you want to steal my base, then I'm prepping for somebody, that's different. It'll still piss me off. But I don't think you should be gaining infamy off of me by hitting my tunes while I'm under bubble protection. I just don't agree with it. I really don't. Because at that point, I know Kickstar's probably in a way, maybe, I shouldn't say I know. I believe Kickstar's in a way trying to keep people from having so many on the tunes on the map at one time. But what's the point of having the option of having 10 tunes on the map if you can't use all 10 tunes? Do you see my point? Without having to worry about whether or not somebody's going to hit them or not. I bring my tunes in every night now. If that's their goal, then I'm perfectly fine with that. I get it. I understand about them not wanting to have too many tunes at a memorial because it throws off the mathematics of the spawn rate in a sector. I totally get that. I understand it. But if I'm under my bubble protection, you shouldn't be able to get infamy from me while I am doing my chores in game. And that's just my opinion. So I like that they reduced the percentages, because if they're not going to change that and my tunes are going to be vulnerable, I'd rather have you have less percentage. I mean, I was in a sector with a guy, and that's what he was doing, the boss bases on Sunday. He lost over 750 infamy just from them hitting his tunes, his heavies, while he was trying to do his Omega bases. And he was in a bubble, because he had been fighting the night before. I don't think you should be able to get that kind of infamy if you're under bubble protection. If you're just letting your tunes heal and you're done, I think that should be it. You shouldn't. If you go out to fight with your tunes and somebody hits you or you hit them, then yeah, game on. You know, your tunes are fair game. That's just my thoughts as a player. Has nothing to do with being a moderator. But I do like the percentage changes. If they're not going to make it so that my tunes are safe while I'm under bubble protection, I like the lower percentage. Thank you. I'm done now.
All right. Well, just remember though, when you hit somebody's platoon and you're in a bubble, guess what happens to your bubble? It pops. So you're fair game regardless of at that point.
Also, if you hit somebody that you would get like nothing from their base, you get nothing from their tune.
Yeah,
Gotta hit.
I think that's a little. That needs to change just a little bit. You know, we got to get something, even if it is they have nothing, because it goes by the percentage on what they have.
The reason I think that they kept it that way is so this way people don't sit there with a 0, because they actually mentioned this in the post. People don't sit there with like 0 infamy, create a new account, and just keep farming buggies.
Yep. I mean,
and because sadly, that's what people would do if they want to, take advantage of every thing they can.
Zach's got a good idea. PvP tunes only can you gain infamy off of.
Yeah, that would be good.
So, I mean, if you're going to hit a player's base, honestly, PvP plat. That's where it would stand.
But then you'd have to mark them on the map. Which ones are PvP, which ones are PvE.
Oh, you got them marked already. You got that little purple X on above them.
That you see, but I don't think other people see it.
Nope.
No, not others see that. Just yourself.
Just yourself.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, other people would have to see it. This way they can see if it's worth hitting a PvE or PvP.
All right, Fran, since you're kind of new here, if you want to go ahead and unmute and give us your rundown on the update notes and bug fixes real quick.
I'm not a big fan of it at all. I don't like the fact that they can kill our tunes and gain access. Like she said, if you're in your base defending, how are you supposed to defend your tunes? With all the disconnects going on, they need to get their service together, which they never will, unfortunately. The good news is during the event, they will not be able to get any PvP points or any infamy points for killing tunes during the event. I don't know if you read that up notice today.
Mm-hmm. I've already gone over all the update notes that have been done, so that was one thing that said during the event they won't be getting any infamy off your tunes. However, they can still hit them. So, anything else?
I'm still just waking up, so I'm going to pass on that one.
Okay.
I set my alarm so I didn't miss the show. Actually, I took a nap.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Fran. That was really nice that you made it. I'm glad you made it on.
Yep.
I am too. I'm a friend of Norm's. We've been playing for 3 years together and he highly recommended you all, and he's been egging me on. So I finally got vented the other day, thankfully.
I'm glad you took on the challenge, because I knew it was something that you wanted to do, but you weren't really sure about doing it. See, it's not that hard. Once you come on and you just hang out.
Yeah. So we get to pop your YouTube channel cherry.
Exactly, we did.
So.
Pop.
Where it says something on the YouTube, every time I put my cursor by it, it says create a channel to join chat.
Interesting.
Yeah, I refreshing, and when I click on create channel, it doesn't do anything. When I click by say something, it says create channel.
Huh. I have to look at that. We can look at that later, Fran. That's not a problem.
Yeah, if you scroll here in the after show, we can screen share later. Look at it, see if we can tweak it for you.
So
I like that.
Rambo was in here too. Holy
with that being said, let's get Rambo's 2 cents in on this.
50 cents? It's at least 75.
I said 2 cents.
Hey man, inflation.
Okay, we'll go 4.
Well, I'll tell you with the platoon reducing, I hope that takes effect, because I lost 4 buggies and almost 400 infamy from being in a bubble, just people sniping tunes that were, outside randomly on the base. And that's way too high. That's just ridiculous. Why even bother hitting a base when you can collect 300-400 infamy from somebody without even touching their base? So I'm hoping the reduction is more reasonable. I think anything from 5 to 25, maybe a tune, if that was the case. I think during special times like events and things like that should be kind of a null and void type of thing.
Which it is.
And other than that, everything else that seems to be announced on it seems to be fine. I think it should have been 10 minutes instead of 5 from the start. A lot of people do the selfies. They'll sit there and let the whole 7-minute timer go out, and by the end of the 7 minutes, you still got your bubble. So unless you were hitting and running somebody, that's the only way you were going to get more in that 5 minutes. So they just attacked longer. They just let the thing time out.
Right.
I think
I jumped into a sector yesterday, and I went to hit somebody, and they held the base for 7 minutes with 5 tunes. I sniped the one tune, and they held it again for another 7 minutes, and then they bubbled it.
Yep.
And I was like, self-bubble. And it's somebody with 15k infamy, so I'm like, if you've got that kind of infamy, I figured they're actually out PvPing and all that, but guess not, because as soon as that landed,
I would actually take it to 15 minutes, but I don't think that the same person should be able to re-attack, because I think some people are going to exploit it by sitting there, hitting it, and then...
There should be a cooldown timer on the attack, so once you hit a base, you got 10, 15 minutes before you can attack that base again.
Right. I think that, it's one thing to have people, I think, or, what was happening was, and even myself, I remember attacking a base, and when I got done, it wasn't bubbled, so I re-attacked it. Then I figured out what was going on. You can hit a base 2-3 times, especially after the first time, if you really leveled it out and killed the base tune. You can hit it 2-3 more times within that time frame, but I don't think that should be possible. I think you should get that one hit, and then it should be someone else's turn. I think if you're going to hit and be the first person to hit, then there should be a 10-minute timer on you before you can re-hit.
We also have noticed, though, on the PvP with that 10-minute time cooldown, let's say you get a 3-star on somebody, you hit him again, of course, it's not a full 3-star, but you'll get the 3-star payout.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I hope that they adjust. I think I hear how everybody's saying they want the 15 minutes, and maybe we'll go up to that. But I agree with what Rambo said. Absolutely. I don't think it should be. I've watched it in a couple other sectors. I've watched it with some of my alts. As a player, I've watched the guys do it. I've watched videos on it. I've seen the guys line up. And one guy goes in and completely flats the base, and then, eggs the person on, and of course they go and they pop voluntarily. But his base is completely flat, so you're talking about 1 or 2 minutes worth of repair time on his base. Somebody else comes in, he's already, as soon as the person clicks attack, technically, the old way, he would already be bubbled because he's already about 1.5 stars.
You don't even have to attack. You could just hit
it. You don't have to, right. You just go in, and then you're automatically getting it. Then you get the infamy for that, and then you shouldn't be allowed to go back in again and get more, again and again and get more, or then come out and then wait maybe a couple more minutes till his base repairs, and then the next guy comes in, he's already got a 1-star or almost a 1-star, and then he 2-stars or flats it. I don't think you should be able to get 200 infamy, 150, 80, 200. I don't think you should be able to do that for 10 minutes, and I agree 100%. I don't think the same person should be allowed to go in again and again and again.
Well, how about this then? I mean, this is an idea for Kicksai, and I have proposed at least this part of it. Instead of giving a 3-star payout each time somebody attacks, whether it be you hitting them 3 times in a row, getting a 3-star payout each time, anywhere from 100.5, 200, 350 infamy, depending on how much they have.
Right.
You get a 1-star payout for every attack after the initial popping of the bubble.
I think that would be good, because we had that in Battle Pirates years ago, where when they went to the system. And and for them it's medals instead of stars, okay? And I know our medals mean something else, but it's medals when you hit the base Battle Pirates, and that's what happened when they first implemented it, and people were getting the full payout, even though the person's base was already half damaged. Not to mention the fact that their base fleet hadn't been repaired yet, which is 3 times, if not 4 times, as more expensive to repair time-wise or coin-wise than it is War Commander. So finally they made that adjustment that if you went in to the base and it was already damaged, because trust me, there were a lot of people that were complaining, and I was a moderator then for Battle Pirates too. They were like, well, I hit this base and I smashed, and I 100%ed the base, and I didn't get the all my medals. And I said, was this damaged when you went in? They were like, oh, I didn't look at that. And I said, go back to your battle log and look at your percentage. And if it doesn't say 100%, and it only says 72 or 78 or 80%, then you got to pay out based on it was already damaged. So Kixeye, I know if they can do it in battle parts, they should be able to do it more Commander.
The only problem I have with that system is that when you have these sniper accounts or mini accounts, whatever you want to call them, that come around and work around with the big accounts, they go out there and they'll sit there and peck at a base.
Yep.
And they'll just keep popping and going to another base and go to another base and just keep popping. And I think that would be one of the only downfalls to that, because they would love to only know they're only going to get a 25% payout for someone re-hitting them when they can just keep going out there, bing, 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 even though they probably don't have much infamy already from the start.
The other thing I'm going to propose is, as you put a timer. It doesn't have to be 5 minutes, make it 2 minutes that you can't reattack that base, because, that gives somebody else a chance to hit that base.
Yeah, and that to me, because I've heard a lot of people, even in Discord, but again, I'm speaking as a player, but I'm also in Discord as a player too. I've seen people saying, way to go, Kixeye, now you're killing PvP. I understand why they're making the changes that they're making. But again, like you said, David, that would be perfect, because if you had that, then that would make true, to me, clan/alliance participation, instead of just one person being, the mouthpiece in the sector that's deciding to go around and hit everybody and use all their alts to hit everybody, or vice versa. The one person that's the mouthpiece in the sector and they're playing 10 accounts at the same time, and they're talking on all their accounts at the same time. It would be good to have that, because that would give them a pause period, and the rest of their alliance would have to participate, instead of one person who's the big badass of the alliance playing 10 accounts. Ooh, that makes you real big and badass. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, make the rest of the alliance, the real players that have real homes and real computers, and they log into their game with one account and they're legit. Let the rest of your alliance, step up to the plate, instead of one person being the one bully person. I like that. I like the cooldown, or so you can't hit somebody over and over again. I kind of like that.
I mean, it would solve a few things, it would solve Now, the only problem I see with the cooldown with that is, let's say you need multiple attacks. That would be the only problem I see.
Yeah, because you might have to use, like you said, you might have to come out and use your other tune. I mean, there are some people legitimately that would hurt that part of the game, and I agree, and that would be me. I can never, unless it's like a super easy base or a new base or something, or a reset base because they cheated base expansion, I usually need to bring at least 2 tunes to a base. So yeah, if I were to come out and come back in, then yes, that would hurt me as a PvPer.
Well, then the other thing would be is, the cooldown timer only goes into effect if you get a 1-star bubble.
That's true. Okay, I gotcha.
At least a 1-star bubble, then the cooldown timer of 2 minutes. You can't attack that player again for at least 2 minutes. That gives the other players that are around, that are in that sector, either protecting it or whatever, it gives them time to go, hey, I can hit this guy. Instead of the one guy sitting there hitting him 5-6 times in that 10 minutes. And
I was going to say, let's see. Rambo, because we talked about this the other night in a hangout. What do you think about that? Like, do you like that idea, or do you think that people are going to bitch either way? So I'm not going to worry about the bitching.
I think there's going to be, some abuse no matter what pattern we come up with. It's just a matter of which is going to be the lesser of all evils. I think that they'll be exploited one way or another. It depends on. People are already making these little workarounds for what's going on right now with the 10-minute delay. There's ones I wouldn't consider exploits. They're just kind of using their other people that are going around their base and just freezing up all the space around it so that they only have the one outlet, and you still can't attack it. So right. I guess that's part of the game. But like I said, there's always going to be something that's going to happen. And I think what we're going to have to do, and what I think what they need to implement, is try these things. Try them out, see which one works, see which one they get the best results from, and then stick to that. Because just pondering and putting it on paper until it's actually in play, it's going to be kind of hard to decide because there's always going to be an exploit to some degree.
And there's always
Yeah.
somebody to bitch about it, about the system.
Right.
Well, you're never going to make everybody happy no matter what. So it's just a matter of what's going to work the best out of all of them.
All right.
So you're going to have to try them.
Yeah. And in all honesty, Kicks, I wouldn't do this live on the servers.
No.
I would put up a preview server and let us test it.
Yeah, it was great though when
I see that,
Chris
too.
was covering for Bernie. He did say in Discord, he came right out and said, when they first implemented the changes, when people were saying, "Wow, this is kick-ass, this is great," and then after a couple hours of doing it, when the shoe was on the other foot, no offense, but it was some of the same people who said, "Wow, this is kick-ass, this was great." After, the tables being turned on them, they were coming back into Discord, 4 or 5 hours later and saying, "What the fuck?" Somebody hit my boogie, got 200 infamy. Somebody hit my other boogie, got 200. What the hell? You need to lower these percentages. So I thought it was I'm not laughing at those people, but I kind of.
Losing my shirt. They
Right.
want
I had already seen it in my head.
You gotta be more strategic with your buggies, man.
But then, CM Chris was really great about saying, "Hey, it's not perfect. We threw it out there. This is what we came up with. If you guys really don't think that this is working, put together some videos and put some information together, and we'll take it to the team." And again, kudos to those people who were in Discord and on forums, because there were people on forums saying the same thing. I think that thread ended up being like 7 pages long. They took that into account, and then they changed the percentages. Are they going to change them again? They might. Are people going to find ways around that stuff? I almost said the other word. Yes, they probably will. But
I think it should be based on what's in the tune, not just a buggy be the same value as.
I totally agree. Seriously,
heavy.
I don't think I should have to be watching my heavy when I'm doing the Omega bases. Have to leave before I win to look to see if somebody's out there.
And I think also you should get a discount if you retreat.
Yes, I also agree. I mean, well, again, yes, because if my chest came up, my win chest for my Omegas, so I could see how many parts I could get. Once I beat the base, I get it, but I have to wait for the chest to come up. If there's a delay for the chest and they lock up my tune,
9 out of 10 times,
I'm going to click my chest and I'm going to find out what I got. Actually, I'm probably not going to. I'm going to immediately come out. But if I want to retreat, because I don't want to lose my heavy, because that's what I'm using to do my Omega bases. Okay, if they get a little bit of percentage off of me, okay, but I don't want them to get like 200, 300, 400 infamy. I don't think that's not cool.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't have that much infamy anyway, but you see my point. It's usually the little squirrelies that come in with their alternates, and they bring the little baby accounts in, to rack up infamy. So
They just
those are
snag
the
your
ones
tune.
that are they're like the mosquitoes that you can never swat, and there isn't enough bug spray to keep them off. And I want to call them something else, but I won't right now because I'm a lady. I'm trying to be good. Fucking twat waffle.
I think we got the idea.
Whoops, I said it.
Yep.
It flipped out.
All right. Well, let's get off to the next step on this. Let's get on to the event briefing. So, War Commander.
Wait, we got
What?
We got an event coming up.
Yes, tomorrow.
We'll go back to sleep.
There will be.
Awesome.
So, but so we got the Operation Dos Ex Machina. It's
Machina.
Machina.
Makina! It's like Dos Equis.
It's Espanol, daughter. It's Espanol.
It's actually Latin or French or one of those
French.
languages.
Greek.
It means like
Second.
the god or something.
Two.
So, all right. So it's going to start the 14th and end on the 20th. So that's going to be starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and ends on the 20th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So Platoon Infamy will be disabled during the duration of this event. Out of time and out of options, the mysterious tech found by Shiva and Micaiah in the Kruger layer may be humanity's best hope against the Onyx. So we're going to get a chance to win the awesome skipjack in the event store. On a survivor track, targets both air and ground, shotgun attack, corrodes, tosses concussion grenades at the enemy every few seconds, receives a frontline fury talent at level 1, Frontline Fury gains 25% additional movement speed.
Moving and grooving, baby.
Next is going to be the Galen. He's going to be in the Sentinel track. Galen is 3 times more durable than the standard Caretaker. He receives Crusade talent at level 1. Crusade greatly reduces damage for a short time after Galen's first takes damage. Unit within half the range of Galen's aura receives an additional reduction in damage by 10%. And then, of course, we have the Daba Phoenix takeoff, the Santiago. He's going to be in the Corpus track. He targets both air, ground, and missiles. His damage type is a plasma. Plasma weaponry deals more damage the longer the plasma projectile travels. So if he's right on top of a unit, it's not going to take as much damage as if he's like 400 space away. The plasma deals less damage at closer ranges, so be sure to keep him at a distance. One talent is repositioned, receives a massive movement speed bonus for a short duration after first taking damage. So on our main track is the Onyx enemy. You'll have 12 attacks, 4 defensive, deployable units, all. Now, the main track, you have mission 1 is a defense. You get 2,500 XP and top of 5 million Thor. Mission 2 is an attack. Is 5,000. You get a Gen 1 unit roll. Mission 3 is an attack. 7,500. You get a Gen 1 unit roll times 2. So you're going to get 2 units out of that one. Mission 4 is an attack at 10,000. You're going to get FM. The heck? FM. Oh, sorry. That's going to be faction mission unlock 1, and you're going to get a bronze cache. So mission 5 is a defense. You're going to get 1,500 and 10 million Thor.
15,000 XP.
15,000 XP. Then at mission 6 is an attack. 20,000 bronze cache. Mission 5 is an attack. 25,000 bronze cache. Mission 8 is an attack. You're going to get 30,000 XP. Faction mission 2 unlock a silver cache. Mission 9 is a defense. 40,000 XP. 15 million Thor. Mission 10 is an attack. You're going to get 50,000 silver cache as well. Mission 11 is 60,000 and a silver cache. Mission 12 is an attack. You're going to get 70,000 and a faction 3 unlock and gold cache. Mission 13 is a defense at 85,000 and a whopping 20 million Thor. Now, remember what you can use this Thor for if you haven't stocked up. You can use it for missiles. Mission 14 is an attack wave at 100,000 and a gold cache. Mission 15 is 120,000 gold cache. Mission 16, which is the last on it, you're going to get a whopping 150,000 XP, the Faction 4 unlock, and the boss cache. So, your Gen 1 unit rolls are going to be 3 Acolytes, 1 Purifier, 1 Vindicator, 1 Seeker, 1 Valiant, 3 Spartan ZKs, 1 Apollo, 1 Fury, 1 Hades, 1 Phalanx, 5 Liberators, 1 Hammer, 4 Detonators, 2 Bone Saws, or a Disruptor.
So you get one of those particular unit numbers and whatnot. You don't get every single one on a roll. It's just your options.
Unless it says you're getting it times 2, then you're going to get 2 different ones. Heck, you can get the same one twice. So, your bronze
Disruptors for the win.
Detonators for the win.
I think I maxed out on them because of all the detonators I won.
Right. Your bronze cache is a Gen 2 tech, not Gen 1. It's bronze, silver, or gold. Silver cache is a Gen 2 tech as well. You get a silver or gold. Your gold cache is Gen 2, and it is all gold. Your boss cashes a sharpshooter tech ×3. Bronze, silver, or gold. You can get all 3 bronze, all 3 silver, gold, combo, whatever. So,
If anyone gets all 3 gold on that sharpshooter tech, take a screenshot of it.
yes, please post it. Post it. So, I got to give credit.
Who's the lovely lady behind all 3 of them heroes?
That is obviously the machine god. That is Onyx. And that ain't Onyx. That's Ruby on crack. I'm going to give it to the art guys.
Zombie Ruby.
Hey, don't knock it. She may come back for the zombie event.
She's just going to be like, what's that? That Mortal Kombat dude, the half horse, half like whatever, the Minotaur. Gonna be like that, like it's gonna be like her head and then like 4 legs of like a dinosaur, and we're gonna have to kill it.
I'm gonna give it to the art guys. They did a awesome job on this stuff.
Yep.
Awesome. So your faction track, obviously, there's 3 of them. The enemy is Onyx. You have 4 attack missions. Deployable units are faction specific. Remember that. So, of course, your mission 1, these are all attacks. You're going to get 25,000 XP. You're going to get a Gen 1 unit roll. You're going to get 3 different units. You're going to get all 3 units the same. It doesn't matter. You're going to get at least 3 of them. Mission 2 is an attack. You've got 50,000. You're going to faction training tokens ×3. Cool. Mission 3, this is where your XP starts to bump it up. 100,000. Gen 2 roll plus 1 restart token. And mission 4 is 200,000. You get the faction hero token. That's worth 1.5 million if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Plus the trophy unlock.
Get the damn trophy already. Jesus.
So your Gen 1 unit rolls, of course, are the 3 Acolytes, 1 Purifier, Vindicator, Seeker, Valiant, 3 Spartan ZKs, the Apollo, the Fury, the Hades, the Phalanx, 5 Liberators, 1 Hammer, 4 Detonators, 2 Bone Saws, and a Disruptor. Remember, you only get 1 of them unless it says something different. So, as this one says, it's 3, so you're going to get 3 of those. Now, the Gen 2 unit roll is faction specific. It's going to be 3 War Dogs, 2 Breachers, 1 Technical, or a Cyclops, or a Dracon, or a Chaplain, and a Caretaker. 1 of those. The training tokens are random Gen 1 unit tokens that matches the faction of the corresponding faction track you hit. So if you're hitting Corpus, you're going to get Corpus. If you're hitting Sentinel, you're going to get the Sentinel. If you're hitting Survivor, you're going to get Survivor. Now, the faction hero token, you purchase a specific faction hero in the event store. So if you're hitting Corpus that round, you're going to get a Corpus token. If you hit Sentinel, you're going to get a Sentinel. So what I recommend people doing is make sure you go through 3 times to get these, if you can.
And it's not just for Galen, Skipjack, and Santiago. You could use it for the other heroes that are in the store, it seems, based on the prize list.
Based on the prize list. So we'll get to that here in a second. The event store prize list. Now, our illustrious Daba Phoenix has done a spreadsheet. For those of you that would like to get a copy of that, we will post it on our channel. For those of you that are on other channels that decided to come and join us tonight, their link is down at the bottom in the description. If you want to come and join us, just remember we will go through your account. Make sure you answer those questions. If anything is hidden or everything is hidden, we're not going to allow you on. If you are on any certain suspicious pages, we will not let you on. So just letting you know that now.
So I can't be on Barney and Friends? Darn it.
No, you know which pages I'm talking about.
Teletubbies?
No, Teletubbies are okay. So.
Oh, I didn't even see that trophy. That's nice. It'd be neat. I wonder if it's animated. It'll like come up and like the legs will pinch together or something. That looks like just destroyed spider.
It looks like an upside down spider. So your trophy, of course, is going to be 800,000. Now, here's the kicker for you, ladies and gentlemen out there. They have brought back every single hero unit. But the price, 1.5 million XP. You can get the Skipjack. You can get the Santiago. You can get the Galen, the Max, the Polly, the Burnside, Weaver, Nyx, Sundar, Roland, Orin, and Adra. Now remember, if you got the tokens, you get these things for just completing the missions. Now, also, at 400,000 a pop, they have brought back the Sharpshooter token, the Envoy token, and the Sphinx training token. For those of you that need those, and you just go through the whole event 3 times and you use your hero tokens to get those heroes, you got all that XP. You can buy more training tokens. The Stormloader, that is going to be the that is for the Darkstorm. You can get Darkstorm parts if you don't have the regular Darkstorm at 300,000. Of course, you're going to need, I think, what was it, 8?
8 of those would be 2.1 million.
All right, you have the Elite Darkstorm parts. Now, in previous events, the Elite parts have been 100,000, and the buying the 4 parts have been, what was it, 380. We are waiting on a reply back on this, if this was just a typo or if this is intended, due to the fact of the versatility of this unit. So as of right now, the 1 part is 200,000. The 4 parters are 750,000. Of course, you need 40 parts in total.
So just some quick math. 40 times 200,000 is 4.8 million, and 40 times, or 10 times the 750 is 7.5 million. So it'd actually be cheaper to buy them individually 40 times at this point. So I think at 750 has got to be a typo because it's more expensive per part, it seems.
Well,
no, wait, no, never mind. You're getting a 50,000 discount.
Yeah. So Daba messed up the math. Sorry, ladies.
Oh, 8 million versus 7.4 or whatever. 7. Okay.
Right.
Yep. This is why it's dangerous to do arithmetic in Daba's head.
Right.
And people have posted on some other pages. And just throw it out there. I have seen it. I've gotten some PMs. And I have forwarded whatever information that you guys have sent me onto the team. I do think that the 750,000 XP for a 4-pack is a bit high. I think that the Darkstorm parts themselves, again, I think for the players that were low to mid-levels that are just now hitting their mid-level stride and into like the upper level range, I think they have a lot of catching up to do. So I think the Darkstorm part itself, even though it's just 8, I think that price should be lower. That's just my opinion. And I expressed it. I do think that, again, maybe they're seeing it as in by now, most of us should have Elite Darkstorm parts, or like this is kind of like, okay, you should have them, but this should be additions to what you already have. I don't really see it that way. Again, I like to think for the low and the mid-levels, again, that are just getting that stride going on, that they really need to make those prices a little bit more competitive, in my opinion, for XP, because there's a lot of stuff in here. You haven't got to it yet, but it was like I practically got down on my knees, begged, borrowed, and stole to make sure that it was included in the event store. But I really think these prices, especially the 4-pack, really needs to come down. The price-wise, if you're a low-level player and you're thinking that you want to get the regular Darkstorm plus the Elite Darkstorm and have somebody prep Omega things for you, and you're like a 35 or 36 or 37 or 38, please don't say that in my sector, because I'm going to tell you go earn it like I did. But I think, yeah, maybe that 4-pack price needs to come down. I could see 500K, maybe 450K, maybe not exactly what it was before, but the Darkstorm really is a game changer. I think 750,000K is just too high. So I did express my opinion. Whether or not it matters or not, I don't know. I see a lot of people on forums expressing their opinions as well. Thank you so much for expressing your opinions constructively, because I too agree with you that I think 750,000 is just a bit too high.
Can
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Fran. What I remember is when, like 6 months after I started the game about 3 years ago, there was an event where you could not get any assistance during attacking on those bases. I sat there for 3 days as like a level 30-ish to get 600,000 experience just for those owls. Literally, I was fixated in front of my computer getting that. So the 600,000 for owls versus 750,000 2.5 years later, they're probably not going to think it's too much.
Not for the higher level players, obviously, but for the mid to low level players, this is a bit.
I was a level 30 and got that 600,000, but it took me 3 days just to get the owls, and like that was it. So yeah, even then, that was a lot for the owls.
Yeah, I remember when the owls came down in price because I had missed them when they first came out because I might have been either when I had my surgery or recovering from surgery. And when they lowered the price, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 events I missed in a row. When they lowered the price to 800,000, I was busting my hump, because there was other things in that event that I wanted to get. Don't get me wrong, I was glad that they lowered the price to 800,000, but you're right. I was like literally, like Fran said, fixated in front of the computer. That's the first thing I got. I spent it as soon as I had enough to get them. I just went at it.
Those owls would beat the hell out of any level at that point. I was kicking the butts of level 40s once I got them, getting revenge.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exactly. That's kind of, again, you have to play your game. What works for you? The kind of game that you play. What is important to you on that event store prize list?
Mm-hmm.
When I look at it, I'm just like drooling all over the place because there's like, 10 different things that I gotta have.
All right, well, let's get back to this prize list. The Shock Turf is still out there at 400,000. Your Hornet and Yellow Jacket units, 750,000. The GK rounds, the Universal rounds, the Vector armor, the Caprice armor, the GK payload, Universal payload, Directional armor, and Shell armor are all 300,000. Your Breacher is still out there at a reduced rate from when it first came out at 56K. The Technicals are 125. Your War Dog is 90K. Your Hammers are 225K. Interesting. Your Sphinx, your Dracones are 180K a pop. If you don't have any of these guys, you need to get them. The Sphinx are deadly. Now, they may not kill a Technical, but yeah, they do pack a punch. And equipped with the right deck, they are awesome.
And they're good meat shield too.
The Cyclops is out again at 225. Your Phalanx are 185. Very viable units still. Even though it is a Gen 1 unit, it is still probably one of the most used units in the game. Your Envoy is 225. Your Caretakers are 280. The Chaplain's 150. Your Purifiers are 280. Now for some tech, the Deflection Shield at 14K, the Steady Shield at 14K. Back up to the top, your Arctic Tires are 3,000. Your Grip Tires are 31K. Streamline Plating at 62. Reinforced Plating at 62. Your Dog Tags and Spiked Collar are 17.5. Resistant Glass and Heavy Glass at 45. Siege Armor is 56. Technical Armor is 56. Deep Tread and Racing Treads are 100K. The Laminated Armor and Cab Spoiler are 46K. Snow Treads and Kevlar Tires are 92K.
Your Phalanx! Get excited, people!
Yep. They have brought out some of the best tech out again for some of the best units that are still very viable, even though they are Gen 1. They have brought out Gen 2 units that you can buy and Gen 3. So with that, let's get back to this. You've got your heavy armor and your lift rotors. I'm sorry. Your torque rotors and your lift rotors at 112K. And whoever did that spreadsheet, you missed a comma. Your spoiler coils, your zone coils are 70K. Your heavy fuel, light fuel are 37.5. Now, for those of you that don't have this, still very good building to have is the Weapons Lab at 300K. This is what gives you that missile bastion that jams all missiles being fired on your base until it's destroyed at max level. Of course, you can get your chemicals times 20, your cores times 20, and your chemicals times 250, and your silicones times 250 at 50K. Of course, they added this in the last event. Core times 1, chemical times 4, and silicone times 4. Well, the core times 1 is 3K. The chemicals and silicones are 1K. And of course, the infamous sector goal bar points, brought back up from last event from 400K to 500K. Now, just a real quick, a little bit more information. You have the sector goal bases, new content. This is what's going to be a kicker, and people are going to love this and hate this. The Onyx reassembly signal emitter and the new Onyx walls. Now, of course, your sector goal bases battle the Darkstorm sector goal base to win between 1 and 7 Omega Darkstorm parts, or 5 million Thor if you can't get any more Omega parts. Now remember, you got to get 80 of these things. Oh, here's your new Darkstorm tech. It is the loader. It will increase your reload speed by up to 30% at max. Of course, you know those, what was it, 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, and whatever it is. This is going to be the kicker that everybody's going to want to destroy first. The reassembly signal emitter. Destroy this building, and guess what? The Onyx bases will no longer be able to resurrect or reconstruct all those little spiders. But here is the kicker. For you. This isn't out there yet, but it will be put out there. It was asked in Discord. If you destroy this and you end attack, guess what happens? Those little buggers will be able to resurrect and respawn again. So try to get this all in one attack if you can. Of course, we have the new Onyx walls. Has been designed a high-tech wall that you've never encountered before. Now, we don't have anything on it.
Can I comment on that wall?
Yeah, go for it.
So, many moons ago, too far for my old brain to remember, but we got a trophy that looks like, if you cut one of them walls in half, it kind of looks like that hologram, and it has the different factions glowing on it, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And somebody, some of the players, and I think there was in forums or something, said there was like a little hinter that it was going to be used for something. So I think this looks like what it might be used for. It looks like 2 of those trophies put together to be in that wall. Well, and I wonder if it looks like it's a force field. So I wonder if Kixeye's going to try to gate us to force us to follow a path, and like we can't traverse those walls, like traverse in between them, and we have to like kill them or something.
Not sure, but there is actually 2 trophies that are similar to these walls.
I think we're gonna have to just destroy them. I bet maybe there was something pretty kick-ass and cool. I remember back in the day, this was before Dava became a moderator, but back in the day they did ask us for some cool ideas for new walls and stuff like that. This was way back before CC12 even, and they were asking us for some cool ideas, and we tried to come up with some cool ideas, and this was one of them because it reminded me of one of the trophies, that we might have some kind of barriers or barricades that would have maybe like some shock effect. I'm not saying these shock, okay? I'm just speaking for some ideas. I would assume that if these walls had any kind of that, I'm assuming, if they had any of those kinds of, tricked out capabilities that would have been included in the notes. I'll double check with CM Bernie and Golden Doodle on that. But it just looks like walls that we're going to have to destroy. I don't think there's going to be, God help us, if they're able to be shockable, that if you run into it, that you get shocked all the heck in a handbasket.
Or their laser.
All I'm saying is, those running the event first day, don't run your drug over it, just in case it is one of those that like destroys everything.
Yes.
like, you know, think of it like a mine, you know, well, just like how we see in every event. Of course, we'll have an event show, but, you know, don't go in it, you know, I'm just going to say it because I have lady ones too. Don't go in there with your balls hanging out all wet and everything, because you might just get them burned off. Take something else in there first and go into one of the easier bases that has the walls and look and see whether or not the walls just, you know, run something into it, run something over it just for fun. Even if it's one of those bases where, what is it, like the 510s and the 15s where we usually release a free unit or something? Even if it's one of those kind of bases, pay attention to what's going on into that base. And if something traverses across one of those walls, look and make sure. Turn your B key on. You guys remember your B key? Your B key shows their life bar for your units and kick size unit. Use your B key. Turn your B key on and send a unit at one of those walls and see what happens. If your life, other than a turret smacking you in the head, if your life doesn't change when you run up against one of the walls, well, then you seem to be okay. I think they would make them pretty uniform throughout the event. I don't think like in a 5, 10, or 15 or 20 that the walls would be, you know, not, you know, induced with something, or I don't know, what's the word I want to say.
Hunter said throw a buggy at it or ERMs. Just to see what happens.
Yeah, throw an ERM, exactly. Throw something at it and see what happens to it first.
The
Or read the
war rig
storyline,
goes through lots of things. Maybe that will be the thing to go through at the war rig.
Sometimes they give hints. Sometimes they give hints about new stuff in the storyline. Like when we had what's her name, the pregnant spider. There was a storyline thing that said, "Did that thing just shoot spiders out or something, or did they just come out of that thing?"
And it was kind of like a little preview of what was to come.
Yep,
I mean, you know, maybe Kickside did do something like that and it didn't work in testing, so the walls look cool, you know, but they don't really have any kind of, I don't mean like they don't have any purpose. Obviously they have purpose, but maybe they did have something like that planned and it just didn't work, or it added lag to the event bases. I'm so in for them not adding stuff to the event that's going to add lag.
Oh, Hunter has a good thought.
Yes.
Hunter saying on YouTube, just a thought. He wonders if these walls are consuming power, and by destroying power plants in the base and putting it on low power, that it deactivates that shield.
That's a good thought. I didn't think about that one.
Maybe.
They would have to, I would assume, since they had like the electronic emission. I would assume so.
Hunter's coming up with good ideas. Is that really him out in YouTube?
I think so. Hunter, what have you done with Hunter Hamish?
Time him out. I can't time him out because he's been putting up some good questions.
I want to ask, who is that man in the YouTube chat, and what have you done with the real Hunter Hamish?
Hunter's always good about asking questions like
he
that.
is. And he pokes me in a PM if he doesn't get what he wants. I'm just kidding. He's in.
Poke.
Just for everybody to know, here are some of the artwork that they have put out for this event. That is one mean looking.
Oh, I called it. A lady upper half. I actually didn't see this picture. I called it. It's got legs and just the upper half of a female. So there you go. That's
Onyx. That is Onyx.
There's your this is hypothetical. This is hypothetical, but there's your next invasion target at wave 10.
Yeah, right.
You got to fight like 10 of those.
This is Ruby on crack.
All I'm in Discord, they said watch out for the last faction wave or something. So I'm wondering if it'll be like killing this thing.
I hope not. Seriously,
because this is the end of the cadence of Survivor, yada yada, and then all three of them.
Yep.
So
this is the end.
Maybe we got to kill this boss.
This is the end of Onyx. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like just like we had to kill the shadow, that shadow blackout thingy a few months ago. So I'm wondering if we have to kill this.
Yep. Here's of course Onyx on fire.
She's on fire.
Of course, here's this one.
That one's a good one.
This one, honestly, I'm gonna blow it up some. I mean, these are all.
That Darkstorm's a little drunk because he's firing in the sky.
Yeah, that's what we were all assuming when I saw this one, whether or not the Darkstorm would be able to hit air.
So, what's that? What's that truck in the back? It's a technical.
That is a thorium infused technical, along with a couple. It looks like a couple of thorium infused spiders. I'm not liking that one, but
Just what we need.
Wait a second. This is what I want to know. Those units are all within the Darkstorm and his aura. Why are they able to fire?
Well, they're firing at each other, and each other's really close, so...
Yeah, I'm just wondering, though. I mean, if you think about it, this I would think would be in the Darkstorm aura.
Like, look at that, I can't call him a Draken. I guess it's a Breacher, and then something else on the left, but it looks like a Draken, but he's not firing a Draken shot. He's firing a rifle shot, but those two dudes right directly, like, at 1 o'clock on the Darkstorm, they're firing at a distance and in front of that Seeker, and that's way more than they should be firing within the Darkstorm aura.
Right.
So I wonder if that's a friendly. It must be a friendly unit that all those units are probably friendly to that Darkstorm, and then they're just fighting off them spiders, and they're just getting overwhelmed by them spiders.
Now, of course, we have this one, which
and then you got the Seeker. Oh my!
The Ruby picture, the one that's on the Ruby page. So for
It's a
now,
little blurry.
no, it's actually I think made to be that way. To be quite honest.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, here let's zoom in on this bad boy here.
It looks like a cave, an entrance, like in the dead center.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's.
So that means we'll probably be fighting in a cave on that 4th faction wave, I would imagine.
Wow. I mean, look at that. That's just like awesome high res.
Because you're zoomed in really good, and it's not even pixelated.
No, it's not.
Like, I love how they did that Deus Ex, like them letters.
There you go.
Like, that font is really nice.
That's some high res stuff right there. I'm at 500%, and there is
scroll. Yeah, look at that. There's like no. Her hair is
very little
like.
pixelation.
Yep.
They did a really good job. I like that Bernie changed the format. I'm sorry, I had to kind of turn things down. I had to read something from a team member so I can reread it. I'll try to kind of quote it back on the show so we can be really specific about this. But again, as we're speaking about the art, I'm glad that Bernie started to include that. So those of you who have your Facebook group pages and such, you guys will have access to the art. You can change your banners for your pages to make them event specific. I think that's kind of cool. I'm sure some of you who have, sector groups or alliance groups or whatever, some of you guys get tired of looking at the same old stuff, and you guys were, sometimes you'll get PMs from you. Where'd you get that art? Where'd you find that? It's great that, I think it's really great that CM Bernie has listened to the community and has come right out and said, hey, can we have access to some of that artwork that maybe they use for the Facebook page or they use to promote stuff on Discord? This is great. I think it's really great. It's one extra thing. You may say, well, what does that have to do with the game? It keeps your pages from looking stale. It gives them some depth and some development. And then, you go back to your regular, whatever your sector artwork is after the event's over. I think it's awesome. Something different.
I love it. I love it.
And it's free advertisement for Kickside because people will willingly put it up on their group pages and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. And the other thing is not everybody has access to forums. And even those who do, they don't always speak English as a language. They look at some of these things and they wonder, well, what the heck is this? What the heck is that? It draws attention to everything from the event to your group to, if you're promoting a show, if you're doing a podcast, all of those kinds of things. It just brings more detail to what it is that you're trying to do to play the game that you like to play. I know this is totally off of what we were talking about, but I did just get a message back directly from the game team. So I would like to read this word for word so that those who are watching, and please share with your alliance mates ahead of time, because there's going to be people that are going to have issues with it. And then also those of you who are watching later, those of you who are alliance leaders or page leaders, please make sure that everybody knows this in your groups. So this is a note that on gameplay for the event, they basically say, we know that people might have difficulty understanding this. The emitter building that when destroyed It does disable the Onyx unit resurrection, but it only disables the resurrection for that battle. If players hit a base, destroy the emitter, and then re-enter the battle and reload the base, any emitting Onyx units can resurrect. Okay, so we did cover that, but remember, when you're prepping for someone else, because I know you guys out there that will be prepping, you need to make sure that the person that you're prepping for understands that when they look at the base and they see it while you're, I know we can't view bases while they're doing it, but when you destroy that building, when you come out, those units are going to resurrect. So for those of you who prep for other people, and I know there's a bunch of you out there, and I happen to be one of them, it's going to help us as the first-time hitters. For you guys that are going to have something prepped for you, consider yourself lucky that at least the rest of it's out of there, but you're going to have to still deal with the spiders. So just spiders.
Also, for those of you on the, we talked about earlier on the infamy reduction. So our illustrious Devo ran a little test for us. So at the start of the attack, his infamy was 2268. The player hitting him was 3221. It killed the following: 8 rocket zombies, 3 polys, 1 Galen, 5 boss zombies, 4 runner zombies. At the end of his infamy was 2265. So he lost a grand total of 3 infamy. So the reduction in infamy from hitting a platoon is greatly reduced. Thank you, Kixeye. So hopefully it's not going to be any more of this 40, 50, 200 infamy loss from hitting a buggy. With that being said, people, make sure you stock up on Res and Thor. Do that tonight before the event, so that way your stuff heals for the event. Now, as far as we're gonna
on that vein, remember there's always at least one honeypot base. We call it the honeypot, especially if you're an alliance member and you're getting the boost. There's always one base in the event. It's usually the 15. I'll throw it out there. Kixeye will probably change that up one of these days. There's always a honeypot base that's relatively easy to do, that you can do out of order. Yes, you're going to get the little thing that says, "Are you sure you want to hit this? It's not in the order." That'll usually drop anywhere from, depending on your boost, anywhere from 40 to, what is it, like 70 mil? What did we get? 68 mil last time? 58 mil?
something like that. 50 something.
Well, about 40.
68.
Yeah, so, I mean, it kind of varies. So if you have the Alliance boost, you're going to get like 40, between 40 48 mil. If you don't have the Alliance boost, you're still going to get and it's easy base to do. So again, for those low-level players or new to the game players or players that didn't know that, there's always a honeypot base. Pay attention when you're doing those low-level bases. See how much resources you're getting, and then remember that base. And then if you can't get to the resource bases, or you ran out of Iron Strike 60s in your area, or someone doesn't want to prep you on Iron Strike 60, go hit some of those honeypot bases, and you'll get your resources really quick. Okay. Done.
So with that being said, we're going to start off at the end over here with Norm. What do you think of the prize list?
I'm glad to see it has more. The previous events I found myself, I wasn't able to get much. I have a lot of it. I'd like to see a lot more tech in there. Would be nice, but other than that, it's something to look forward to.
There's a lot of tech in there, honestly. But even though if it's for older units, some of those, like I said, the Phalanx is in there, and those are very still viable units.
Yes, that's why was stopping me from making any. I never had any of the tech for them, so be looking forward to making more of them now.
Well, with that being said, remember with your workshop being maxed, you go hit the Phalanx bases when they come out. You get the tech. Of course, the very first one, you're going to get a Phalanx. Then you're going to get the tech after those bases. So, and then you can always replicate them. Depending on the level of your workshop, maxed, you can replicate all of them.
Yep, and it's only 16 hours for the gold tech. It's 8 to 12 hours for the silver, and 6 hours for the bronze tech.
I
And I'm
think,
telling
I
you what,
think it's 6, 8, and then it goes up to 6.
yeah, it's
something
totally worth it.
Yes.
It is. I was a replicating fool when I had all the diamond techs for everything. Like the last 2 months, I had all the diamond techs. Well, once I got the diamond techs, because the 2 things they threw in as soon as we ran a raid, we took turns and I got my diamond techs. I was a replicating fool for my phalanxes, and I have 4 tunes of phalanxes that are tricked out with everything. Yes, it was crazy. Yes, it seemed like it was grind for some people. I just put my stuff on a timer. And as soon as the time was up, I'd log into the game, I'd go back in, and I'd start replicating another one. And I have 4 tunes of phalanx that are completely tricked out. So, and they are vicious, and I love them. They are my go-to tunes for when I need to get something done fast, hard, and easy.
With that said, would you guys know what it would cost to do the last level on your workshop? Or
In resources,
yes,
I think it's 600K, but let me double check for you. I'm pretty sure it's either 500K or 600K.
You mean 500
I
mil?
mean 500 mil. Sorry. I was looking at a PM from somebody else that was asking me about the XP. My fault.
I think it's 500 mil.
Yeah, I think it's 500 because the tech center is
No,
6.
wait a second. No, it's not. It's not.
Is it 6?
No, I think it was because that level came out before the resources. The replication came out before resources got boosted.
Yeah.
I think it's 3.
Oh, it's 300. I just looked on the wiki. You're right. It's 300. It's the tech center that's 600.
Right.
And one of the other buildings is 500. Yeah, you're right. It is only 300 mil.
Yep.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. So now that Daba's back
Thank you, Troy.
and 5 pounds lighter, what is your take on the event store prizes?
So I'm really happy that they're putting back some of the old heroes, especially like Ardra, Roland, and Sunder, instead of selling them for that Blood Thor stuff. Well, I mean, I guess you could still buy them with that, but now we have another option, so this way we don't have to waste Blood Thor. Now, something I would like to see, but it's probably not going to happen. Now, of course, this is me speculating as a player. Based on past events, when we got a hero token, we would get 1 hero token per completion. Well, only 1 total for that particular faction track, if I remember correctly in past events. However, it'd be neat if, for like people that need the heroes, if you could get more than 1 hero token for that particular faction. That would kind of reduce the grinding. So if I did, say, the survivor track twice, I'd get 1 survivor token per completion. So this way I could get, say, the skipjack unit and then the Weaver or Roland, like without having to use the XP. But either way, I mean, it'd be a good way for people, like, say people don't want the Santiago or something, then they can use that Corpus token for something else, like Nyx. And I like that they're selling the Darkstorm parts just immediately after the what's that unit called? The plane that we just got. The Siege. Siege. I'm glad they're selling the Darkstorm in the event after the Siege, because especially because it's an Omega Darkstorm. Which what does the Omega Darkstorm do? Hint, hint, wink, wink, kicks eye. And then yeah, there's a lot of old stuff in here too, like the drones, Yellow Jackets, and Hornets, and their tech, and it's nice to see those in there. Plus, just looks like a lot of red tech for a whole crap ton of units. So stock up, because a lot of this stuff is pretty cheap. Like the technicals, they're practically giving them things away. So I've seen level 35s with technicals in their base, and I actually have to bring a heavy tune over to take care of it. So if you're a medium low level and you're able to get technicals, even 1 or 2, get them. Because it keeps people like me away from your base during Warpath. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Alrighty. Fran, I know you were just waking up. You probably didn't catch all the stuff that was said about the event prizes. So, with that being said, what do you think so far then?
I think I see her mic is off. Oh, it's back on.
It's on. I was feeding my cat. Stepped away. I just got back. I'm glad to see a lot of the technical stuff in there as well. Really thrilled on that. Glad they finally got some workshop for the Darkstorm for us to go after. Last few events, people were getting bored. They weren't really chasing except for just to have the bragging rights of how much they got and stuff like that. But it's we'll see how the event goes. Hopefully, it's not as hard as the last one. The spiders are killer.
Well, just remember, its electric op comes in handy.
I have over 800,000 medals saved up. Alrighty.
Alrighty. Rambo, you're up. What do you think?
Well, I think some of the prizes are a little overpriced, but one thing I'd like to see happen, and this is one of my favorites, is when they put all three in here, so you have the option of what you can pick to do. But my fear is kind of like what happened last time, was that it was difficult for one faction to clear that last wave compared to the other two. I think it's kind of hard to do it in one format for all three. I think they should vary each of those a little bit so that doesn't happen again. But I like the fact that you have the choice of whichever three you want to do, because not everybody has everything. Some of the higher skilled players, might have all the toys to do everything, but some people don't. And if you're still starting and you're mid-level and you're trying to get to that point, it might be a little more difficult for you. But if you have the option of 1, 2, 3, you might be able to get one or two of them, I like the fact that the heroes are out there. I like to see some of the tech, the gold tech that hasn't been out in a long time for these heroes, be available to buy in the event. That's never there. It's always the regular version of whatever it is, if there happens to be a gold version. Haven't seen those in a while. That's pretty much it.
That's great. Now for Skipjack, what do you think?
Shoot, I was unmuted anyway. Sorry. I love my Bernie. When I get my Bernie time, I have to keep my Bernie time. Okay, as far as the event store goes, prize list goes, I see some people that are a little upset about the prices for the hero units, and I think they're in line for what the faction hero units are. Some of them are extremely powerful. Some of them, I'm like, yeah, I got them, and I got them tricked out, but I don't use them as much. I was ecstatic, first of all, when Bernie mentioned before he went on vacation that there probably would be the 3 heroes in the event. So, of course, he tickled everybody's fancy on that one, and I was excited just to find out there were going to be 3 heroes. But just winging it out there, finding out, hey, if you're going to put the 3 in and this is an all-faction event, why not put them all out there? Because I missed the Polly event. And she hasn't been available, and I was hoping she'd be in the Blood Thor exchange, and she wasn't put in the Blood Thor exchange, the last Warpath, and I was very upset as a player because I wanted my Polly, dang nabbit. And so I was really excited to see. Do I think 1.5 million is high? Yeah, a little bit, but most of the faction units have been like 1.250 mil, 1.5 anyway. So, and then if you're good at the faction tracks, you're going to get that faction token anyway. And then you can choose that token to use for whichever hero that you want to. So if you're not that good, let's just say you're really good at Corpus and you're really good at the Survivor faction, but you're not that great at the Sentinel, then you might have to use your XP for your Sentinel heroes that you want, or vice versa. Maybe you kicked ass on the Sentinel event and you suck at the Corpus event. And I'm not trying to be ignorant, but there are some people, it's your game. It's your units. It's how you play the game. There are probably some factions that you absolutely love and the units, and some factions that you don't give 2 shits about. And yeah, I'm going to use that kind of language because that's the kind of language we use on a regular basis when we talk about some of these factions and some of the stuff that comes in the game. The point is that they could have made it just at his 1.5 million XP, or they could have made it that you had to go all the way through a faction track just to get a token. Instead, they're making it an either or, and I applaud Kixeye for doing that. Finally, yes, finally, this is my favorite thing. This is almost as exciting. It's a girl's wet dream, almost as exciting as getting the expert howlers when Wrong Thinker had promised it, and I didn't see him in the prize list, and I thought I was going to lose my female mind. That they finally put Phalanx Tech back into the prize list store. So I'm going to thank you, Kixeye, for listening. Thank you for listening to all the posts that were out there, all the threads that we had to merge, all the players that were asking and thought Kixeye wasn't listening. They did. And I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about the people who don't have Phalanx that will be able to get them because the Phalanx are in there as well. Plus the tech. Obviously, the gold tech isn't in there. But if you do follow War Commander on the Discord channel, it has already been previously mentioned that the Phalanx bases will be out towards the end of this month and into July. So I'm not saying don't get the stuff in the event. Good God, why would you wait till July, man? Seriously, I'm going to do a Star Trek. Good God, man, what were you thinking? Don't wait till July. But you could have a chance to get the gold tech, which isn't available in the event store. And I promise you, when you get your stuff tricked out, you will love your phalanxes like the rest of us do. And one tune of phalanxes won't be enough for you. So I'm excited about it. If you have extra, if you find yourself like you're kind of bogged down or whatever, get your phalanxes first if you don't have them, and that will probably help you immensely, especially if you use your It's Electric op. So don't wait to the end of the event to actually get some of this stuff. If you don't have it now, and you see other people using those units in the videos, go get the units. Spend your XP. Don't be afraid to. Build them. Do them. Go get your Thor, because you're going to need Thor. What is it, 33 million Thor? I haven't built one in a while. Is it 33 million?
I do believe so.
Yeah, so make sure you have plenty of Thor to the low to mids, or people who don't have your phalanxes. Make sure you have plenty of Thor stocked up, so you'll have them. They're 33 mil a piece, and build them. Even if they don't have tech on them, they're still kick-ass when you use the It's Electric op. They really are, because they move so fast. You'll enjoy them a lot. I like the prize list. I think some of it's a little redundant, but I'm okay with it. I do believe, although it's not mentioned on that prize list, but I do believe that the shock turret, in case anybody's interested, that it is last chance. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it was listed as last chance. Somebody mentioned it in the Discord, and I saw a comment, I believe last week, I think, that the shock turret would be last chance. So just figured I'd throw that out there. The low to mids, it actually works really well. It's really great to put on your spawn points, by the way. Hint, hint for invasion. Wink, wink, hint, hint, wink, wink.
If, as you remember, nothing is truly last chance.
No, nothing's true. How the heck they drug the shock turret out of the daggone basement from 2015, for crying out loud.
35 mil to build them, by the way.
I know, but then they gave it 5 more levels, so I was okay with that. I was okay. I'm still not going to use it right now, but I know people who did.
Just a disclaimer, though, it's for those that already unlocked it many moons ago. It's the same one as before.
Yeah.
The new levels, though, go 600 range. So it's pretty
600 range. It'll reach out and touch you. And it's like, in the words of the immortal Shadow Killer, it'll reach out and touch you. It's his favorite saying to say about the microwave turret, which I also do not use.
Well, with that, Zach would like to get out of the event, he says. He'd want to get the Galen, the Envoy, and Sharpshooter tech tokens, upgrade tokens, the DS tech, and the Elite Darkstorm parts. Now, the only thing he doesn't, he says the prices seem decent except for, of course, the heroes and the four-part deal. I mean, so I'm going to have to agree with him on that. I think that is a little bit high. I do like the prize list. Don't get me wrong. I've got most of those units already. The only thing I'm going to need is, the tech and the trophy and the 3 new heroes. But
and the training tokens.
Yeah, and the training tokens.
Oh yeah, the sharpshooter and all the training tokens. I'm going to be like, I think I need like 55 training tokens just to be close to where I want to be.
And remember, people though that are out there, as in, if you don't need these tokens, go ahead and get them anyway, because when you convert them to text, it is a lot for the lower units to get those up. So,
And the ones that you win from the event, just doing the event, the Gen 1 and Gen 2 rolls, if you don't like them or you got those units maxed, go visit your text factory and crank them down.
now, there were a few things talked about in Discord. As far as I asked, go ahead.
Oh, can I show the event thing real quick?
Go for it. Where are you at? Go for it.
Go to the Discord stuff.
So,
Gotta hide.
let me know when you got it up. But as you're getting it.
Yep, I'm good.
All right.
I'm up.
So, with that being said, Dab, I'll let you go ahead and
There we go.
here. So this, of course, has been Dabified. Hopefully his math is correct. He has been known to make a few mistakes here and there.
When I want details. As far I went through this like 3 times, so hopefully.
Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
I'll go over it. So this is the raw data. So if anybody wants to take the time and double check my math, this is the raw data that I copied. I physically hand typed this out from the picture because I couldn't just copy and paste it. So that took me like 5 minutes. But yeah, so as we can see in our pretty little sheet, we have total XP main track just for the attack waves, no boost. If you look at there's a no boost column. This is the boost if you run the 10% boost.
Well worth it.
And it's only 10 coins for 4 days. So
$1 for 4 days. $1.
The total event XP main track, just the attack waves are going to give you 647 500. With the boost is 712 250. Total event XP defense waves, that's another 142,500, and with the boost 156 750. So therefore, that gives you the total XP. Oh, fail. Total XP for the faction track is 375 in total, and then 412 500 with the boost. So that gives you a grand total for your event XP of 1,165,000, and then with the boost 1,281,500. Now I always do it without the defense because I know the defense waves are skippable. So that gives you a grand total of 1,022,500, and then with the boost 1,124,750. I apologize because I didn't even think about this, but how much XP is required to get to just the if you just keep going to the restart token. So I'll have that number for tomorrow's show. I'll hand it off to whomever's running that, but I apologize for that. Now, if you're doing the repeats, you need to do 5 complete repeats. If you're doing everything in order to buy all this stuff without using the tokens. If you're using the tokens, the hero tokens for the Skipjack, Galen, and Santiago, you only got to do it 1.014 times, so basically 1 1/4 times, and same thing down there. And this is for if you don't do the defense waves. So you got to do it 6 times if you don't do the defense waves. Like if you just do the attack and the faction, you got to do it 6 times. But if you do the factions, then it's only 5. And then of course with the 10% boost, there's no way that's even 5. Yeah, so it's 4.5 for that one with the boost, and then 5.1. So.
Well, just remember though, Gaba, if you complete all 3 faction tracks, you're getting the free tokens. So.
Well, that's where this comes in handy. That's where this calculation is. If you actually use the tokens, that means you only need 8, 9, 10, 1.3 million for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I did this calculation. So if you use the tokens, you only got to do it one time. Basically, one and just a few other missions. Then you could be done your mission in about an hour. So that's why I'm glad they put the other tokens, because I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to beat all 3 tracks and get the hero tokens. So that's why I can farm those sharpshooter tokens, because I have enough techs that I can craft them, but I really don't want to use my techs if I can just grind the event. So.
And you're the king of grinding.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. There's a few people that are like at my equal. Like Fear the Peel's one of them.
Not anymore, but.
Oh well.
With that being said, as far as the base for the Omega Dark Storm, our illustrious Golden Doodle has stated that he did it with 2 platoons of Phalanx. Now that he said it is going to be a lot easier than the Siege Squadron bases.
And just to put it out there, he said those 2 platoons of Phalanx did not die in the Discord he posted. So.
And they are not. And for those of you thinking, oh, they're maxed out with maxed tech and this, that, the other. Nope. He uses level 15 units. So that was posted out in Discord.
Well, out on YouTube, Hunter's asking, what would be our recommendations across the panel of which of the heroes in the order of what you should get them in?
Me personally, I'm going to go for Galen first.
Yep.
Just because he is the hero caretaker unit. Now, the only downfall to that is you can't deploy any other hero units with Galen in play. Because he is considered a hero.
Well, that should be an exception, but they need to change that.
Maybe. Well, if they do, it's going to be kind of hard because of the way the code is written on that. The code is written to where it only allows you to deploy 1 hero unit.
All they got to do is take the code off Galen.
That's what they would have to do, is take the code off of Galen, describing him as a hero unit.
What do you do? Piece of cake.
I mean, they did that with what's his name, Sarkis. Sarkis got demoted, so they could do that with. Do that with him.
So, now another thing, and how many of you actually took part in the base expansion sale?
I did.
I have mine expanded a little bit, but I never did buy the package that was out. I think I did mine 2 or 3 up.
Yeah, I did 2 or 3.
It was 50% off. So if it was, let's say you were at the 100 on your standard, going through your CC, and it was 100, but if you went through the package, it dropped it down to 50 gold.
Yep.
So Daba probably already had the max base. Frank, what was? Did you take part of that?
I took part of it.
Okay. Did you?
8% expansion.
Did you? Were you satisfied with the 50% discount?
Oh, I've been waiting for the sale. I wish at this time I wasn't working part-time and that I was able to get a lot more. I would have purchased more on it. I like the 50%. I've been talking about it for a long time, so I was happy to finally see it.
All right. So, Rambo, what did you think?
I definitely took advantage of it. I took up 3 levels from one I did.
Nice. Hang on, I got somebody knocking at my door. Daba, can you take over for me for a minute?
I'm going to have to do the same. I got someone knocking at my door too, but it was nice chatting with you guys. I'll hop on later if I can.
Oh, great.
Hey, Skip.
Yes, dear.
You got those
coming.
Do you got those lovely pictures ready, available, accessible?
Oh, yeah, they're not like in any specific order, but if you'd like to, I mean, I literally took the pictures, the screenshots that you have. I didn't do anything with them. I was like a snippet fool, like you were. So, I mean, if you want me to, I can. Let me get out of some of the other stuff that I'm in. Let me close my game, first of all, because I was checking out some things for some other players that they were having issues with. I did pin a post for CM Bernie about the Onyx emitter building. So those of you who heard what I said about the Onyx emitter building, about the clarification,
I'm back. Thank you.
There is a pinned post, and CM Bernie asked me to make it. And then there's also a picture of him with him typing it out. So I put that information out there. If you want to take that information from the forums, it's a pinned discussion. You'll see very rarely where you see a mod pin anything. But Sam Burney's not in the office. He's on the train. So if you want to take that and you want to put that link up on your pages to remind all your players so that they're prepping or they're not saying, what the heck, I destroyed the building, why are the spiders? The only reason why I'm harping on this is because I can see it already, that players are going to destroy the building and then they're going to end attack and come back in with something else, and they're going to send tickets. Please don't do that. And that's why we're throwing this information out here on the show. That's why when you watch the replay, please, please like and subscribe, as we always say at the end. But even if you don't click like and subscribe to the show, please share with your alliances and the pages that you're on that this is intentional. It is a clarification. It is a pin post. I just put it up there. Let me get it out of KXL. So if I screen share, I'm not going to crash.
I'm already screen sharing it.
Okay, do you have all of them?
I got that one.
All right.
I can screen share the ones that I put in the Unshackled.
I meant the other ones, the ones that I posted on the producers page. I'll get them. I don't mind doing it. Which one you want to do first?
I can screen share the ones from the Unshackled chat if you want.
You guys already went over. You just went over the Omega base, right? That he was able to beat it with 2 platoons of phalanx.
Yes.
Blackout. Okay, so we covered that one. All right, let me go to the next one. All right. So this is about the compression sale. Did we talk about that yet?
I was getting to that.
Okay, so
you want to screen share them so this way, like people.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
I have them in the Unshackled. Like I have them like where they're just pictures.
Okay, that'll work. So, for those of you that actually did take advantage of the base expansion sale, I asked when they came online about was there going to be any chance to go on top of right behind it a compression sale. His answer was yes.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that one. For those of you, you're struggling with upgrading your metal and oil storage of buildings, this compression will help you out immensely.
That's good, Daba. Can you screen share Daba as he rolls through his?
Yes.
This is just that we took off Discord. For those of you who aren't on Discord, I know there's a lot of people on YouTube that are. For those of you who aren't, if you need a Discord invite to the War Commander channel, please raise out to any one of us and we will give it to you so you will have access to it. Golden Doodle was in the Discord all day today.
Yes. So
I got out of my
There he is, somebody asking about the Omega Darkstorm bases where they be made super hard. There he goes and says he's able to beat 2 platoons of phalanx, a platoon of furies, and the elite blackout.
Yeah,
and later on down, I didn't catch
them
him.
big one-hit wonders though. I was hoping he would. I said I hope they aren't one-hit wonders so we can help alliance mates when we're done with our 80. That just kind of as an 80 parts.
I didn't catch this, but later on down, and he had said that he didn't lose the phalanx.
Yes, he said he didn't lose the phalanx. So
yeah, I just got out of college and I was waiting for my class, and I just took these screenshots so they're not all pretty like in a
if we don't have if you don't have that picture, Daba, you can use your Darkstorm in Darkstorm bases. Why is it not?
Oh yeah, there you go. All right, so the next one says, it is said with our Thor build units, when we scrap them, we get nothing back. That's what I mean. That's something I haven't taken a look at, but that's something I should. So he's maybe considering.
That has been brought up, I don't know how many shows.
Yep, but it was also part of the focus group, the last focus group we had about a month and a half ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. And it was something that was brought up to the team, and I won't mention the team member that commented back, but it is definitely something that they're considering. But they did say to the focus group that it wasn't high on the priority list. But I think they understand, like, we wouldn't get all of our Thor back, just like we don't get all of our res back when we scrap a unit anyway, that we would get a percentage back. I would go for a percentage better than not having anything.
Oh, yeah. And, now, I mean, Kixeye personnel is actually saying, hey, we're good. it's something I should look at. So
Yeah.
that's a little.
He's the main dude. So if he's going to look at it, if he says he's going to look at it, he's going to look at it.
Yep. I mean, it's been
Alright.
brought up on several shows now. Here's something else.
That says, "Can I slap you when I find some weird bugs?" Nope, that wasn't it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, here's where he says, "I don't have maxed out units. The highest I'll go is level 15 for older units like Phalanx." So here's him showing that he was just using level 15, I guess, in the Darkstorm base,
Right.
the Omega Darkstorm base. So now here it says technical. Oops, let me zoom this in for YouTube. Technical won't get a hero, and he says, "Are you so sure about that?" So maybe a technical hero in the future. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Hint, 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 wink, wink.
So, what else we
Oh,
got?
see, guys, you don't even need your moderators to drop hint, hint, wink, wink. There is the man with the plan actually saying it right in Discord.
Right.
Now, I don't know what this one's about, but it says, "I like to see Rivers taking a bigger part and adding a bridge tank, and I guess like a tank that can drive over water or something." And he says, "More map variants is a goal of mine too." To that comment, so I guess maybe world map, like Rivers on the world map or something, where they like mountains. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Did you
it
happen
looked
to,
important.
Did you happen to get the one with him saying about the dozer? Did somebody ask about-
That's in here.
Coming up. Yep.
Any chance to get the Omega Blackout offer? I missed that last time, and I'm really wanting this. And he says, yes, we're planning that soon. So we're getting a Omega Blackout offer again at some point. So keep checking your little top right for your offers. And if you see an offer, click see if you have like a right arrow on it, because sometimes they hide offers within offers.
Exactly.
Yes, don't.
There's that.
Next.
Then we have Mr. Dark Shadows himself says, any chance for a compression sale on top of base expansion? And he says, Dark Shadows, very high chance, yes. So, there we
Be
go.
on the lookout for it.
I will probably take advantage of that again.
Yes, please. You know what I say to people all the time. It's definitely worth it if you're a low level. That was one of the things when I first started playing. Jano beat into my head. Rocket, Data King. I mean, some of the players that don't even play anymore just said, like, well, what should I do first besides base expansion? Was resource compression, and they were exactly correct, because as a low level, I mean, obviously we can't compress Thor, although I am trying to get Kickside to consider a compression for our Thor vaults. But it really made a big difference for me at progressing as a low to mid level, because if people were prepping bases for me, because I had compression, let's just say we have Iron Strike 60s now, but we didn't have those then. It was worth it to me, because when someone was prepping something for me, I could hold more because I had already maxed out my stuff by the time I was level 28. You say, well, that's a lot of gold. Well, I'm a coiner. I was a high coiner in Battle Pirates, stopped playing Battle Pirates, and came over to War Commander. So I'm a coiner, and that was worth it to me because it helped me progress and gain quicker.
I remember trying to help Data King when he had come back, and he could only hold like 35 million Thor. And we were just like, dude, you got to get your things at least up to 50, just so this way we can open Thor for you, because it was easier for us to open a 50 or 80 than it was to sit there and fart around with 50s or 65s, and he wasn't self-sufficient at the time to do 50s. So we were just like, get your Thor up.
It's one thing to throw Will and Meta into the sand, but it's something entirely different when you're throwing Thor into the sand. But
Now, hang on real quick. Public service announcement for everybody that's still watching. Just remember that when you do the Advanced Scout, it does not show compression.
no, it won't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so stop reporting me for cheating.
Yeah. Just
It was funny because I had done a one of my CC upgrades, and a fella had come into the sector and said, "Hey, Jabba, you're cheating. You're only showing 250 million, but you have your CC upgrading." And I said, "I'm gonna make a video," and I posted it publicly on the page, and it was like, "Oops, I guess it doesn't show the compression." And I said, "Yep, got to be a little more cautious when you're calling people a cheater, because sometimes the game mechanic just doesn't work."
And I guarantee you, that's a very low priority fix.
Yeah, and
anytime somebody tells me that that they advanced scouted and found a bug, I'm always like, well, let me try to replicate that and scan somebody who I know is clean. and
Yeah.
or have somebody event scout me and see if it's showing buggy.
That's what I do. I have somebody do the same to me, or I'll have Jim do that to me first, because it could just be a temporary bug or a bug related to maintenance or something. I mean, if we're talking about sending in a report, cheater, hacker, ticket, or whatever, seriously, guys, there's some serious stuff going on out there. If you're just wanting to send a report because you think somebody's over capacity as far as them holding res, that's really, really low priority. And again, it doesn't always show compression. It doesn't show compression. So I don't think that's something that's going to be ever high on the priority list. So just let that one go. Seriously, if you're worried about him having too much resources, then just let that one go. If he always has max resources, that's something different.
Now, I will say this for everybody. Discord is not the place to report a cheater.
Yep.
Okay? So for those of you that think, oh, I'm just going to go to Discord and they'll get banned instantly. No, that's not the place. They're going to tell you exactly what I'm going to tell you. Go to the support page, click on the report a suspected cheater. All right. If you have a video, put a link in there. If you have picture, put the picture in there. But do not come into Discord demanding that just because you've turned this person in 5 times, whatever, or mass report this person because they're cheating, ain't going to happen. It's not. And if I'm on there, I'm going to shoot you down. They put a report in.
I mean, the Discord is really great that we have the team in there, and they are in there Monday through Friday, even sometimes on the weekends, but they're not required to be there. They are in there, no kidding, sometimes 4 or 5 of them, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Okay, their time, Kickside time. Let's not abuse that privilege. There are other channels in there where you can post things, but you will maybe occasionally, and we have rules. The rules of forums apply there too. We're going to have, Bernie's just back from vacation and the event's happening, but I've already talked to CM Bernie about updating those rules a little bit. But the rules of forums, and it was made perfectly clear by Kickside Chris, who is a upper management, who was filling in for Bernie last week while I was on vacation. The rules of forums apply for forums, global chats, PMs in KXL, and everything in and within the Discord as well. So they will update that. But you could get banned and lose your privileges. Why risk that? So if you get warned, don't take it personally. But the Discord is not a place to report cheaters. It's not a place to post videos. If you have a video and you've already reported somebody and you're frustrated, and it's been more than a week, good God gracious, give them at least a couple of days to review what you sent them. But if it's been more than a week and you haven't seen anything, or you feel like Kickside hasn't done anything about the player, I'm one of the moderators. And let us take a look at it. And if it's something that we know that the team's aware of, we're going to tell you that. But that doesn't mean you're going to get this immediate action from Kickside, because it's not going to happen that way. 1, they may be watching to see who's using it. 2, they may be gathering IDs to see how many people are using it. And 3, they may actually take the time to reverse engineer something so they can't do what it is that you see them doing. It's not a flip of the switch. And you want to see a crater, and you're not going to see a crater. So I'm just going to say it as a player. I think craters are overrated. I think the craters should be for the people who talk smack and shit and chat and talk about people's personal lives, and they make like physical life, real life threats against people. As far as the other part, I mean, I'm perfectly fine if the person's base stays on the map and they can't log in for a week because they get to 99% and then throws them to the CS section and says you've been banned for cheating. I'm happy with that. I don't care if they don't have a crater. I think that's funnier. I like it. I like that their base is still on the map and they can't log in and play. I love it. I absolutely love it. If that's what Kickside is doing, I'm fine with that. I don't need to see a crater. My Twat Waffle folder is so daggone big, I need a partition hard drive to hold all the pictures I have of craters. I'm done with that.
I'm gonna add number 4 in there, Skip.
Yes, sir.
Just because they're not in a crater and you've reported them, you've had other people report them, which don't do that. Don't say mass report this person, because mass reporting does not do a damn thing.
It's just the opposite. Mass reporting will get you flagged for for overuse of the reporting system. Yes, it does happen. And yes, I have seen people get responses from customer support that says, stop mass spamming your tickets and stop mass spamming your reporting. So if you want to be listened to, you have to let Kickside do things in their own time.
The other thing is, just so you people know, just because they're not in a creator doesn't mean anything. They are, I guarantee you, looking at that account, waiting for it to be online.
Sometimes, yes.
Use that. And then, oh, look, he did it. They did it. They did it. Okay. Boom, crater. And it is a perm ban, not one that they can come back from. So, yeah, they may get banned for it for whatever. You launch report them. Oh, they're going to be back in a week or a month, depending on how long that ban is. Because unless they catch them truly doing it, regardless of your video, regardless of your picture or your photoshopped picture, because I have seen some of those and they are atrocious. Trust me, you guys don't know how to do it. And
it does require investigation. And sometimes there are a few things that are out there, and I will call them, there are true manipulators of the game, but accidentally, some of the things that accidentally happen in game that somebody sees it and then they use as a manipulation, that's one thing. But that could actually happen to an innocent player. I'll use the unit. We won't talk about it. I'll just say the name of the unit, the Phalanx. Occasionally, sometimes it will happen to an innocent person. I don't want people say, oh, create a bot and just ban them. No.
Nope.
Because it's happened to me.
It's happened to me.
So it's happened to me as I'm pulling out to pull in another unit.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounded dirty, didn't it?
Yes, it did, but
sorry. But I'm saying it's happened to me, and it's like, and then if it does happen to you and you have access to support, you might want to be proactive and say, hey, this happened to me, and send a ticket. Kickside appreciates that too, but yeah, you know what? They have to investigate it, and they need time to do that. And if Kickside needs time to do it and gather the information, and then again, gather the metadata to see how many people are doing it and how many people are taking advantage of the system and so on and so forth, then more power to them. I would rather them get everyone who's doing it than just the 1 or 2 people who are doing it in one sector. And I know I'm probably the minority in saying that. I know it's frustrating. I know it's a pain in the ass. I've been hit enough times by enough hackers and enough cheaters. What's funny is that they don't know that I'm a freaking moderator, and they come and they bring their cheats into my base. And of course I'm running video 24/7 when I'm online. What the hell? But anyway, it makes for a pretty video for me to send to the team, but even I have to wait. I mean, I don't expect them to be banned right away. I just send it off to the team.
Yep, that's exactly what I do. If I suspect they're cheating, I'll take the screenshot. I'll make the video. My screenshots are time-stamped.
Yep.
My videos are time-stamped.
Yep.
And I send it in and leave it at that. I'm not going to sit there and wait a day, make another report. Hey, they're still cheating. Hey, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah.
And I don't come back 3 days later after I've sent it to the team, or even a week later. I don't come back and say, hey, did you guys do anything about that yet? Hey, did you do anything about that? Hey, I PM'd you about that 3 days ago. You know, please don't waste the team's time. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I know I'm probably sounding like the minority here. Come on, Fear the Stiletto. Hold me up on this one. Hunter, Hamish, I know you're out there. Come on, Nut, hold me up out there. The Discord channel is a privilege for all of us that can be taken away at the drop of a hat. Please don't overwhelm these guys with your frustrations and your pissed offness about someone not being banned right away because they were cheating. Please use the channel for what it's for. The wealth of information that came out of that channel today between the hours of 11 o'clock my time and probably close to 6 o'clock my time was absolutely astounding. And I love it. So please don't abuse these guys. And if you get banned and you can't PM anymore, you can't get into the channel, then you must have done something, or you over spammed your reports, or you just said something you probably shouldn't have said to a team member. You know, they're human beings too. Yeah, they get paid to put out a game that we like to play. I always say the game we love to play but hate to love. But they're human beings too. And they're not always going to get it right. And they're going to make mistakes. And if they do, thank them when they fix it. Don't always bitch, because that's what women do. I know, because I am one, and I'm allowed to say that. That's all I have to say about it.
So
I got the next thing up if you want to present
Go
one.
Go for it.
you'll
I
present it.
turned my screen share off because I clicked and it went to all my chats, and as
Oh, what happened? Yeah, it's like you kind of it disappeared. Oh, there you go. Alrighty.
So we have a next thing. I'm guessing. Well, up here, Mr. Sarkis 2 says, "Mr. Golden Doodle, will we be able to use Darkstorm on the Darkstorm base?" Yes. Then he says, "I guess." So he says, "Trick never worked for me. At least it should be 5%. 500 KXP is a half tire." So I guess he's talking about the sector buff. So he says, "I'll have the team take a look." So I guess it should give at least like 5% per sector goal. So, like, if you buy the 500K, I guess he's wanting 5% on the sector goal. So, I guess Mr. Golden Doodle's gonna have the team look at that.
Yeah, he's going to try to take a look. I mean, it seemed like we had it rolling pretty good in our sector last event, Daba, if I'm not mistaken. It was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know that I bumped mine in a couple times. Hillary bumped hers in a couple times. When we had enough people on that were actually doing the event, and then boom, we threw our XP at the sector goal. I mean, that thing went from like 70% to like 87 to like 93 to 99 really fast. It only took like 3 or 4 of us to throw our XP at it. But yeah, go ahead, go to the next one. This is one of my favorite ones.
I've never played Vega Conflict, so I might need some context. But it says in Vega Conflict you can buy time stones. They're kind of like an upgrade token where you can reduce your building upgrades: 4 hours, 8 hours, and 12-hour ones. And they can be they can get over a currency that gets you from daily requests. Also coins, of course. I think Golden Doodle says, "I think you're gonna like the things that we're currently building." And this also goes on to another comment that Golden Doodle made. I don't know what order it is in, like these pictures, but
Are you talking about the dozer?
yeah. Let me see if the next one is the dozer. Yeah, here we go. So I guess we could just scoot right into this one, because this one kind of piggybacks off that one. Any chance we get a double dozer or slow down these upgrades? So what's the overwhelming community kickside response been for the past, ever since I've been playing?
Yeah, double dozer, double dozer.
Never.
Yeah,
They said
never.
nope and all that. So, Mr. Golden Doodle, and I marked the red and blue and blue. So, no plans for. Wait, hold on. Hang on. Killer. Oops. Did I think I made a boo boo? Alright, well. So, regarding the double dozer, we have to fire. Alright, Snip Tool, you're fired. I'm gonna fire Snip Tool. It's all his fault. But so Golden Noodle says, God of War. Yes, enough for future building. For future building upgrades, we currently have a plan to distribute the requirement off the single dozer. I don't think that means a double dozer, but maybe
it's basically the stones. They have it in all the other games, so that it's basically a currency within game, which is something that we talked about before, which actually Wrong Thinker actually talked on Wrong Thinker's Think post, that there were no plans for a double dozer, and I understand why, but we're not going to even get into that. But it's basically going to be like a token that where you can knock a certain amount of time periods off, and in Vega they're called time stones. In Battle Power it's called something else. All the other games is called something else. But yeah, it's going to be something that you can use where you can knock like a percentage off for an amount of time. Like the player said, either 8 hours, 12 hours, or 16 hours. Are you going to get it for free and knock a whole day off? No. But it's going to be a certain amount of time that you'll be able to take off. And some of those that you can actually earn in events. Or they come in a prize cache. Or some of them are called chests. Some of them are called caches. Some of them are called lockers. It's just a lot of other games also incorporate that in their games. So they might be called other things in other games. But I'm excited they're going to bring it to War Commander because this is the last game that doesn't have anything like that in it.
Oh, I remember what this was about. No plans for a unit like that in the immediate future. It's a good idea, though. So, Killer Tarzan, like right above here, I didn't get it snipped, but he was asking for a hover tank-like unit for modern day, and so this was the response. So, Golden Doodle likes the idea. of the hover tank-like unit. We got 3 more.
Didn't I bring
Gems.
that up in the channel first about bringing back the hover units?
So what?
I think I brought that up right before he did a little while back before
Okay.
about the hover unit.
So this one here is a 2-parter.
Yep.
Hopefully the next one is the continuation of this. But what about base design, save, and alliance chat? We would all love to see those added. These are both things that we community have asked for a long time. So Golden Doodle says they are both on the roadmap. Yes, so this is now official. Kixeye is at least considering it because they're on the roadmap. Now, part 2.
Wouldn't be on the roadmap if they weren't working on it. Somebody has to get paid to work on things that are on the roadmap.
So what about base design and alliance? Oh yeah, so this is the actual full screen. So both are on the roadmap. Now here's the thing that Mr. Golden Doodle was saying. No concrete time though. Alliance chat is a tricky one to implement. Well, part of the fun of the game is in the fact that the chat is really active. I'd like to implement alliance chat without drying up the public chat, which has been seen in other games. So I guess Battle Pirates and Vega, which I've never played more than say a month.
Yes.
I guess they have an alliance chat, and the main chat has dried up, according to this post. Here.
Yes. Especially in Battle Pirates. Really, the only thing in Battle Pirates, because there's, we have the towers that jump anywhere we want, whenever we want. Unless there's like a main invasion in a sector, you very rarely ever see people posting anything, unless it has something to do with like someone who's passed away or. Hey, the update notes are out, like something like that. Hey, the event notes are out, the game's up, the event notes are out, the prize lists that are out. There's like general things, and it's usually like a sector admin that's posting in there. But for the most part, each group kind of stays in their own alliance chat.
And or there's a noob named Daba Phoenix or whatever I named my boat captain name on that thing, asking for help and like. How do I play this game, and what do I do in this game? Because I had no idea. I turned it on, and because it said, War Commander's down for maintenance. Why don't you try Battle Pirates or Vega? So I was like, whatever. And I loaded it up, expecting it to be similar to War Commander, and I just get in, and I see my boat on the map, and I'm like, what do I do? They were very helpful they were a lot more helpful than, like, we community are to War Commander, like, level 2s. But they didn't suspect me of being a spy or anything, and they actually opened me resources and stuff. And of course, I had pirates steal it, but they helped me get the resources back to my base and stuff. So they were very helpful. But yeah, it was like one or two guys that were actually in the global helping me. I was really surprised because I didn't even know a thing about that game. And now we have. The final one. This is regarding the Omega Darkstorm base, and Mr. Golden Doodle says, for me, it's easier than the Siege Squadron. I guess the Omega Siege Squadron sector goal base. So, yeah, and remember he was using from a prior post. He said he was using Phalanxes, 2 toons of Phalanx, Furies, and the Elite Darkstorm. So that'd be kind of interesting to see when they, what they look like when they come out. And then finally, for those, I think I want to shout out to Venom for this particular one because I think he bought gold and then they had a gold sale like the next day or something.
I love you for saying
that. But, oops, did I say that? I guess I'm gonna go flat tonight, but. Operation Deus Ex Machina begins soon. Gold will be on sale beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on June 14th. So that means...
Actually, you know what? Let's give props on that one. Because, to be honest, and I'm going to use the P word, as pissed off as Venom was, and justifiably so, because he bought one of the biggest packages, as pissed off as he was, I gave that feedback to the team, and so did a lot of other people. And I think Kixeye probably heard that because it was the live event show, how pissed off he was. So I think it's really great that they took that upon themselves to put it as the mat tag so that we all have it. Mat tag is message above the game, MATG. That's what mat tag. So if you hear me say the mat tag banner, that's what it means. Message above the game. So it's an anagram. So I think maybe they probably did it. So let's give props again to Venom, because I don't think, it's something that they thought about. I think it's great that Kixeye put it out ahead of time as opposed to posting it up, the morning of the event. So I think that's great.
And for those that do not operate under U.S. Time zones, 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time is whenever the event would normally start in your time zone. That's when the gold sale should start. I don't say will until I actually see it with anything, so it should start at
Right at the start.
And so you might want to check for an offer that you might have to click, or you might just be able to do it in your base. Sometimes they say you have to actually click the purchase button, and it doesn't work for Facebook gift cards that you already pre-purchased. Like, it has to be like new purchased gold, so you have to make sure you read the terms and conditions on that gold sale very carefully before you purchase it. And
sometimes
this way you don't flood the forums or anything.
And depending on what country you're in, it might not show up right away. So just be patient. And even though Kixeye is a U.S. company, it's not Kixeye's fault if there's an exchange that's going on between your country and I will say our country, because that's where I live, in our country. It's not Kixeye's fault. It's considered the United States law. Every financial transaction that happens between the United States and any country, wherever you are, has to be screened before it can be completed. And that's not Kixeye doing it. It's the Payment Processing Center doing it. But it's a requirement by law in the United States that any financial transaction that happens within the United States, and Kixeye is a United States company, is that it has to be screened before it's processed. So if it takes a little bit of time to show up, don't freak out. If it's been 24 hours, PM one of the mods. Or send a ticket.
Yep.
Grab one of us. But if it's more than 24 hours, grab one of us. I have seen one or two players, not the last event, but I think 2 or 3 events ago, it took 36 hours for their gold to show up. Do I know why? No, I don't. Did I make the Kixeye team aware? Yes, I did. Did I get an exact answer? No, because it's private. All I did was give that person a PM back and say the team is aware of it. I will have someone contact you, but it looks like there's a slight delay in processing your payment. They're not going to give information. We're not going to give detailed information because that's private. That's between you and their payment company and your bank or your credit card.
And while you're on that topic, just want to put a PSA out, public service announcement. The War Commander moderators, however many there are now, I think there's 5 of us, 5, 6 of us, I don't know, but we don't have access to anybody's account. We cannot get into your account, so don't ever send us any personally identifiable information aside from maybe your game ID or your, PM us on Kixeye. Because we don't, even if you did give us your information, we would delete it immediately because we don't have a need for that. That's for you and Kixeye to discuss if it's an account related issue.
ID. We could go get your ID. It's just easier to ask you because most people know their IDs by heart. It's easier to ask you real quick in a PM to get something started than to go look you up and find out what your ID is.
Also, for those that PM me in Discord, I ask everyone that PMs me in Discord to PM me on Kixeye, so this way I'm able to grab your Kixeye URL, so this way I can get it to I can send it to Kixeye, because I can't identify who is who on Discord. I can assume, but easier. So I always tell people just to PM me on Kixeye, because I've had a lot of people. I say, what's your Kixeye name, and it's not the same as the Discord name, so I'll say in the Discord chat, say this particular phrase, I'll say like apples and oranges or something. Then if I get that message on Kixeye, then I know it's the same. I can reasonably assume that it's the same person. And then I put in the Discord and the Kixeye PM. I say, hey, this is Discord name. This is the Kixeye name, just for my personal reference. So don't get all spooked if I ask you to PM me on Kixeye, but it's for your safety. I want to make sure it's actually you.
All the mods will do that. I mean, anybody that you PM, unless we know you personally already while you're in the Discord. Yep.
Exactly.
And I mean, like a long history with you. If we ask you that, it's for your protection. It's not because we're trying to be anal. It really is for your protection. And in that vein, if anybody asks you for any personal information on Discord, do not give it to them. Can we say fake gold? Fake gold offers where your accounts are compromised? Do not. It's very easy to take somebody's avatar and make a fake account, and you think it says CM Bernie, and it really doesn't. It says CM Bunny or it says something else, and they just stolen his avatar. Whatever you do, do not give out any personal information. And if you are in doubt that the person is really that person, then grab a moderator. Or vice versa. If you're not sure, if a moderator PMs you for something and you're not sure, grab somebody from the Kickside team if you see them on there. Or take a screenshot of the person who just messaged you, throw it into general and say, is this person for real or is this a fake account? I promise you we will not hold you accountable for posting that up there. Do not let Discord be a way for someone to get personal information from you. There is nothing that the Kickside team needs from you. They already have that information about you. But if you're in Discord and the name that you're using in Discord is not associated with what you're using in the game, then they won't know that information. But then again, still do not just willingly give over that information unless you verified it with somebody. That person is truly that person. Go to Kickside Golden Doodle, go to his account and click on it. And it says the # and then his ID number. That is Golden Doodle. Go to CM Bernie and the # and that ID number. You can't replicate that. So go to mine, go to Daba's, go to Troy's, go to Cybertoes, go to Axel's. That identifier number is unique to that person in Discord. So they've been vetted. If you see an avatar and it doesn't have my number on it, then do not reply to that person. Send me a PM. I mean, my identifier number is 9415, but I have been, and so has Daba, I have been occasionally, someone has misrepresented themselves as Skipjack. So if you don't see my identifier number on the message that I send you, or Bernie's number, hang on, I can tell you what Bernie's number is, 4501. If you don't see his identifier numbers, 4501, don't answer the message. Don't even acknowledge it. Grab a moderator or somebody else and say, I think someone is trying to imitate CM Bernie, or I think someone's trying to imitate Daba or Skipjack or Axel or Cybertoad. Send it to somebody that you trust.
There was somebody. There was 2 Daba Phoenixes in the general Discord room, and I think it was a player. He tags the other one.
Yes.
And I didn't get a notification, and the player PM me says, "Hey, I tagged you in the room." I said, "No, I didn't get anything." And then I looked at the thing, and it was like, it was my name. It was marked as a moderator, but it wasn't me, and it didn't have my Daba Phoenix logo, my like the bird with the my same forum pick. And so I was like, okay, that's not me. So
well, there were 3 Skipjacks in there, and the one who was faking to be me made up their own account with a Skipjack, stole my avatar. So it did look like me, but if you didn't know it from the identifier, you wouldn't know. And it didn't say moderator. It just said Skipjack with my avatar. But
here's a key point in Discord, okay, for those that are out there. If they're in yellow, their name is yellow, they are moderators in Kicks on Discord. If they're in red, they are the admins. Those are the Kicksai employees. Only Kicksai employees will be red. Okay, that is just for everybody to know.
So the red guys are the ones that if you have any account personal details, that is the guys you want to PM that, not to the yellow people. Or all the other players that are not, they're just players, they are white. So don't send anything to them. They're not moderators or
secondary account in there and you're just not sure of it regardless of the color. Just don't answer. It's so quick when you see the person's avatar and you see their name. It's happened to me in another game. So it's when they impersonated an actual Kicksai employee. And yeah, I answered the person back because I thought I was talking to one of the CMs. And you may say to yourself, well, how can you be so stupid? Because I talked to them all day long. And just real quick, somebody sent me a PM and it popped up and it was their avatar and I didn't look for colors. I mean, that's how quick it happened to me. I didn't look for colors, and I answered them back. And the information that I answered them back with was covered by my NDA. So of course I had to immediately go grab the CM and say, okay, there's someone in here impersonating you. This person needs to be thrown out. And of course we did, but still I ended up sharing information I shouldn't have shared. So don't be that player that shares private information. Don't ever, ever share anything, any payment information. For the love of Pete, never post that in Discord, because Discord isn't owned by KIXEYE. Discord owns Discord. So for the love of Pete, never post anything in there that's credit card related, customer support related, payment page related, private login related. KIXEYE doesn't need it, and we don't want to see it on there, because even if we tell you please don't post that, because I'll delete your post. It's nothing personal. I don't want some yahoo who's just lurking in the Discord to take your shit and use it for something nefarious. So that's my public service announcement, because I don't want to go into details and I don't want to say any players' names, but there have been some people that have been adversely affected by using the Discord channel, and I don't want you to be discouraged from using it, but just don't share personal information, please. And thank you.
So, with that being said, I think it's about time we wrap this baby up. So, let's give our shout outs, our final statements, if any. We're going to start off with our infamous Daba Phoenix.
Oh, yay. Google, for the second time, has put me first. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're War Commander Unshackled, so it's not going to come up as your real name. Okay. Shout out to everyone on the panel and YouTube. I'm finally back for Wednesdays for the summer, so if I'm allowed, I shall grace you with my presence every Wednesday. Shout out to the 28. Shout out to the 28 people still watching, and Mr. Debo out there in YouTube pretending he's wrong thinker, but your name says Ducks and Debo, so fail. And huge shout out to Sector 142 for allowing me to come visit and collect some infamy. The final shout out is those that will be playing the event this weekend and into next week. Take your time, enjoy it, have fun. Don't break any electronics over the event. It's not worth it.
All right, thank you. Fran, you're up. Any last comments, shout outs?
Nope, I'd just like to thank you all for letting me join. I plan on sitting in regularly and being a little bit more active in the future, so thank you for that. I wasn't able to give my full attention tonight, but I've learned a lot. Didn't have an idea about moderators really until tonight, and we just came across a hacker in our sector. It's not even a used base, but he has like 4 Jiminy Crickets. War centers? What are they called? But he has 4 buildings in his base that he's not supposed to have in there. And I attacked him like 3 months ago, and I went through the detail, and it shows that I killed it like 4 different times. So we'll be submitting tickets on that. I will. We won't do mass. But the mass reporting was something good to learn, because I've seen many people say, report this guy. And yes, 1 million tickets go in and overload KIXEYE. So I guess that's not a good idea. So I appreciate all the info I've learned this evening.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, friend. That's awesome. I'm glad. And I'm honestly, grab one of us in Discord, or if you're not friends with us on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, send one of us a friend request, or all of us, and say, hey, this is Fran from the show.
Awesome.
And if you need something, I mean, doesn't mean we all have real life jobs and we do this on a volunteer basis, but if you need something and we see it, I might not be able to answer right away. Same thing with Dava. But we'll get to you. And if you get, if somebody gets to you first, it doesn't matter as long as you get your answer.
I appreciate that more than you know. I've been in the game 3 years, and I kind of just jumped right in because I started playing with my ex-boyfriend. And so I consider myself still learning a lot. So thank you.
No, it's great. It was great to have you tonight. Thank you so much for being brave enough to come on. A lot of people think it's too scary or too hard. And Heck, like you said, you couldn't give your full attention. I was in the kitchen, got some more leftover Chinese, went to the bathroom, came back, got something else to drink, came back. So, I'm glad that you were willing to come on, because I know you've wanted to for a little bit, and I'm glad you were, able to actually just do it and just jump in with both feet. I appreciate that you're here. Somebody new on the panel. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
All I gotta say is one of us, one of us, one of us.
One of us.
All righty.
Chili, pop your chili.
All right, Skipjack. Any last
Yes, sir. Well,
comments?
nobody. I sang my birthday song the other day to all the people. Well, one person I needed to sing it to. Don't have any combined birthdays to sing tonight, so I won't sing happy birthday, because usually I do it at the beginning of the show. I do want to thank everybody who was willing to send me the information, and I'm not going to be specific about that information, but I do want to thank everyone who was willing to get me videos and send me their battle logs and their information so that I could get what I needed to get to the team in a short amount of time that I had to get. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. For those of you in Discord and on forums, if I ever come off as crisp or clipped in my answers, it's probably because I'm trying to do 10 things at once, and I don't mean to be that way. So if I come off that way, please feel free to PM me anytime and say, hey, something up, did I do something wrong? Sometimes I'm just throwing the information out there and I'm going over to the next room to say, hey, did you know this was happening? And I'm going right to the team. So I might throw you a short answer. So again, I want to thank you for my patience. It's not intentional. If I give you a short or clipped answer, it's not like I'm trying to be rude. So if you feel like I'm being that way, feel free to PM me and call me out on it. I have no problems with that, honestly. I don't. And for those of you in the forums that were frustrated with me over the Flash, again, I'll say it again, over the Flash issue, I didn't mean to make anyone feel that it was their computer's fault, because it wasn't. It was Adobe's fault, plain and simple. But my point is that I was trying to offer you a workaround, because I found my workaround for my rig. Jim found his workaround for his rig. His is slightly different than mine. And I worked with about 100 other people and got them worked around before KixEye ran their fix. So again, I'm not blaming your computer. If we ever answer you that way, we don't do it intentionally. Because if we're not having the problem, we're just trying to offer suggestions. And if we ask you to run a trace route and give us the results, that's the first thing customer support's going to ask you to do anyway. So why not skip that step and just give us the results, and we can help you backtrack through your trace route before you even have to send a ticket. Because you know what? I can look at your trace route, and if it's on KixEye's end, I'll flat out tell you, oh yeah, that's on KixEye's end, you need to send a ticket. If it's not on KixEye's end, I'll try to work backwards for you until we can find out what's going on. But I'll be the first one to tell you, if you run a trace route and a speed test, and don't use a speed test from your ISP, please, because they're biased. If you run a trace route and a speed test, and I can see that it's totally on KixEye's end, I'm going to tell you. Or there might be a known issue that we know about that's not player facing yet, and I'll flat out tell you, yes, it's a known issue, you need to send a ticket. If I say that to you, don't get mad at me. It's because I want you and I need you to send the ticket so KixEye can see how prevalent the problem is. So to the community, I thank you for your patience and understanding, but this is an ever-changing game with ever-changing technology. And what worked for me as a moderator 6-7 years ago, some of that information isn't going to work anymore. Some of that diagnostics isn't going to work anymore. And I have to ask you to do different things. It's all part of an ever part of changing technology. And it's not just KixEye, and it's not just the game. To the panel, everybody that came, to the YouTube chat, everybody that showed up and stayed, thank you so very much. I love you all. And I'm sure David has this planned, but for those of you who aren't really sure about the event or where to start, there will be an event show tomorrow. So please don't throw all your stuff at all the bases and go screaming and crying in forums and Discord that the event's too hard. Watch the event shows, look at some of the videos, and do how Shadow Killer used to tell us. Get together, grab some buggies, grab some elite riflemen, and just look in the bases and see what they do first. Look for all the crazy shit, and then adjust your shit, and then you'll do better. And that's pretty much it. I think, oh, to the Kickside team for listening, for bringing the Phalanx tech back, for being one of the most awesome game teams I've ever worked for. Yes, I'm going to kiss their asses because it's the best game team ever that I have ever had the pleasure of working for, and I have played all Kickside games. This is the best game team I have ever worked with, from marketing to dev to engineering. God bless you, engineering. All the way up to the top. One of the best teams I have ever, actually it is, bar none, the best team ever. And I'm not just kissing their ass. I'm saying it like it is. And that's it. Oh, and David for having the show tonight and getting home in time to do it. So I didn't have to. That's it.
Alrighty, thank you.
Hunter wants a shout out to whomever's next.
Hold on. Hunter, you'll get your shout out here in a minute. So don't get your panties in a wad.
Does Hunter need a sexy shout out?
No, he's not.
Hey, Hunter, how you doing, boo?
Hi, boo. How you doing? You want to come over and sit on my lap? I got a milkshake for you. Oh, my milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard. It makes them hard.
Okay.
Come on, Hunter. Come on over.
There you go, Hunter. Now shut up. So now, with that being said, I want to thank everybody that came on the panel. I know Zach is busy doing, what is that, the Omega Blackout base. So he'll probably say he wants to thank the panel and everybody out in YouTube. So with that, my shout-outs are the following. Everybody on the panel, I want to thank you. For the people that left early because they had to, Rambo and Norm, thank you for showing up. Fran, we were happy to pop your YouTube cherry. To everybody out there in YouTube watching us and has stuck with us for over 2 hours. We're at like a little over 2.5. I like to keep the shows a little short, but this one went a little over. There was a little things we had to go over. Public service announcement. Don't forget, before you start your event, reboot your computer, reboot your router. Get that out of the way so that way your computer is fresh. I'm going to say don't start the event exactly right when it starts just because of the lag that's going to happen. We all know it's going to happen. The live event show will go on. Of course, they're not going to probably start it for about probably 30 minutes. They're going to start discussing things and saying, okay, they're going to look at the bases. They're going to say, okay, this is how I plan on doing it. This is how we're going to try to do it. You know, just
Watch us kill our stuff.
Watch
so
us
you don't
kill
have
our
to.
stuff so you don't lose yours. All right. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be on that show just for the fact that when the event starts, I'm at work. So
Same.
Got to pay the bills. Unfortunately, it'll be the European guys most likely. running it.
Anton City. Well, they'll already be home.
Yeah,
with
they'll be home.
bags of crisps, and there ought to be a 6-pack of beer into it. So they're gonna have a blast.
6-pack of beer? No, there'll be.
I was gonna say, the city is probably at least
half a bottle of scotch.
Exactly.
I want to give props to Kicksai, Golden Doodle, and CM Bernie, even though he just came back from his vacation. Did one hell of a job today in Discord. On topic, on cue, answered questions left and right, gave us some good tips, tricks, you know, here and there.
Good info.
Great info, the update notes, the artwork, the art guys that are, if you're going to listen to this show, wonderful job. I'm loving it. So
If you get an extra cookie, whoever did the art, give them an extra cookie this week.
right. So just remember, ladies and gentlemen, stock up on your wrist, stock up on your Thor. It's Electric is always a handy spec op to have. So we've got good information out to you guys, I hope. With that being said, y'all have a good night and a good fight tomorrow. We're War Commander, and we're out.